Kenya revolution is here. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades. Twende kazi. Today, as you can see, it's Miguna versus Raila Odinga. Did Raila graduate? This is an exclusive. Tafadhali weka popcorn chini kwa sababu tunataka kuchambua maneno. Please. The first order of the day, you know what it is. Ebu like your video hata kabla hujasema kitu. Like, na kama hujasubscribe, kama unaangalia hii channel for the first time, please go ahead and subscribe and like, okay? Naweka notification hapo ndio upate nini. Haya basi tuingie kwa mada ya leo. Miguna versus Raila Odinga. Who is telling the truth? Does Raila, did he graduate? Ako na makaratasi. Okay, if you are UDA, if you're pro the motion or against it, tafadhali ingia hapa, naeka link kwa chat. Come convince me. Tell me what you think. Do you think Raila Odinga has the requirements? Did he actually graduate? Is he an engineer? Ama ni story too? Is it true? Did he graduate? Let me throw the link. Let me put the link. Today, I want to hear from people. I want to hear from people who actually think. Otherwise, I don't care. If you think he has it, please tell me what convinces you, what makes you think that Raila Odinga graduated. If you think he did not, pia kuja unieleze. Niko hapa. I'm here. I'm all at your service. Niko hapa tu nikupatie news na tuchambue maneno. Hebu ingia basi unieleze. Ndio hiyo link ndio hiyo. Ai. Wacha niingize hiyo link basi. Link ndio hiyo. I'll not be here for long. I just want to hear some people's views. Kama unafikiria okay. Kama unafikiria Raila Odinga graduated and is an engineer, he's a legitimate engineer, hebu tueleze, kuja utueleze. Come tell me. All right, click on the link to join the studio for a live discussion. Sawa? Ama namna gani? Haya ndio hiyo. You know what to do. Kama hujawahi kutumia hii kitu, kuja nikueleze. Una click your link mara moja. Ukishai click, okay? For the sake of those people who are watching on X, transfer to Ninio. You can join through X too. Ndio hiyo StreamYard link, unaweza kuingia kwa StreamYard. Just click the link, turn on your camera and your audio. Alafu naingia, tunaona picha yako hapo. Wherever you are, unaweza kuja unaniambia maoni yako. What do you think? Do you think Raila actually did graduate? Is he a legit engineer? Ama ni stories za jaba? I'm hearing something different. Actually, something that even before I get to Miguna and what he says and what Raila says, somebody just tweeted somebody close to Raila Odinga that actually will worry me. I don't know what is. Nakwambia Kenya kuna maneno. Mimi naambia kuna maneno. Link ndio hiyo. Mimi nawaekea ma link. I'll put it even 10 times. The link is there. If you want to join. Anybody is free to join. We shall Nita flow some questions. If you have some questions for me, if you have the questions for the people who are listening or anyone, ingia tusikie maoni yako. I want to hear your maoni. Ebu kuja uniambie. If you're watching on X, people on X, and you want to join in and tell me what you think about this, the issue, if you think Raila Odinga ni muongo, come and tell me. Link ndio hiyo nimeweka. Link ndio hiyo kwa nio. Link is in the chat if you're watching through YouTube. I've just highlighted in case you're watching it on X, so you can just hit the link and unaingia kwa studio, kuja uniambie, fungua kamera yako, fungua ninio, kuja uniambie. Do you think Raila Odinga has a legit engineering degree? Did he actually graduate? Ama ni stories za jaba, ana to enjoy. What's the deal? Unaweza kuniambia kwa comment section if you're too shy, you don't want to show your face and you want to ninio. Ebu niambie kwa ninio kwa ninio. Kwa comment section hapo, whether you are on X ama you are in YouTube. I'm live on YouTube right now, so if you want to come into live on YouTube and show your face and tell me face to face, hey, listen, I feel like you're full of unaweza kuingia uniambia. That's okay. Tunaweza tukabagua maneno. We can discuss. We don't have to argue. We can debate. We can have a good conversation. Unaweza kuingia hapo uniambia. Link ndio hiyo. Can I put it one more time? Wacha niweke hapo hivyo. One more time, just for the sake of those who are listening, who are actually might feel like, you know what? I feel like I have some news. I have a copy of Raila's Ninio. Ebu wacha nikwambie, Raila is qualified. This is it. Na unaweza kutuonyesha hapo. So join, click the link and join the studio for a discussion. If you feel like Miguna is full of it, ama Raila is full of it, either way, kuja uniambie, because we're about to go in. I'm about to start with one tweet from who? Mutua, Professor Mutua. What's his first name? I forgot his name. Professor. He's in New York somewhere. He was one of the closest, one of the advisors of Mr. Raila this past elections. Actually, he went to several mandamano. I think one of the mandamanos. And after that, akawacha Professor Alfred Mutua. Anaitwaje Mutua, Macau Mutua. There you go. Macau Mutua. Macau Mutua just tweeted something 1 hour ago, and it's telling. It's telling. I'm telling you, if there's something that's telling, it's that. And I will show it to you. Do you want me to show it to you? Aya, wacha nikuonyeshe basi kama nafikiri now enjoy. Let me show you that tweet by Macau Mutua. Easy tweets, unajua siku hizi tweets. Twitter is the new news. You don't have to listen to CNN or ukitaka news zingine huko ndio Twitter, enda kwa Twitter za watu utapata news nakwambia. Basi mimi niliangalia hivyo nikashikwa na inaitwaje tabasamu. Okay, here's the tweet by Macau Mutia 1 hour ago. Professor Macau Mutua. Remember, this guy was the closest guy to Raila Odinga during the previous elections, okay? He just wrote this 1 hour ago. I'll read it to you. He wrote this. Every, and capital EVERY, every Kenyan knows at least one Kenyan with false, fake academic papers, true or false. This just gives it away. This gives it away. I know some of you might be like, oh, so what has that have to do with anything with Raila Odinga's requirements or qualifications or academic papers? It has everything to do with it. It has everything to do with it. This whole week, whether it was KTN, whether it's Miguna, whether it's in the blogosphere, whether it's the vloggers, they've been talking about Raila's qualifications. And to make the matters worse, Raila mwenyewe alienda huko Germany, and he posted some pictures on his Twitter page showing the school that he purportedly went to, attended, okay? And he said, oh, memories reminiscent of the days of my high school. And we already established that that school is a harder institute. It was never high school. It has always been a kind of a technical school, okay? It's a it's a college, okay? So for him to say it was a high school, reminiscent, reminding him of the days when he was in high school, harder institute, we start asking questions. How is it that you went to a high school, but this institution that you're calling a high school has never been a high school? It has always been some college, okay? So that's the number one thing. But Professor Macau Mutua, who was one of advisors of Raila Odinga in 2022, leading up to 2022 elections, and actually went to the Mandamano with him. Remember that? This is a guy who comes in after all this brouhaha about the possibility of Raila actually not having this qualification. He comes out and writes this. And I'll read it again, just for shits and giggles. Every, and he uses capital, every Kenyan knows at least one Kenyan with false or fake academic papers, true or false. Why does he need to actually point that out? Does he know something that we don't? This is the very guy who actually few days ago, actually, is it this week or last week, that he wrote he wrote that Kalonzo is the best fitted for 2027 and everybody else is not. Macau Mutua, Professor Macau. Angalieni screen. Macau Mutua. Mutua Macau. This guy who is a law professor in New York University of New York or somewhere like that. In fact, I'll reach out to him and see if I can bring him this channel. I know he probably won't because he's scared. But anyway, I'll try anyway. But this is a guy who's close to Raila Odinga. And after this week where we have been talking about the possibility of maybe Raila, maybe he does not have that degree. Maybe he doesn't have it. Maybe. I'm not saying he doesn't have it. I'm not saying he has it. I don't know. But as it stands as of right now, we haven't seen it. We don't have any evidence that Raila has any degree. He's been talking about it. I know some people are saying, oh, he ran for president in Kenya 5 times. So IEBC probably saw that, they saw the degree. Okay, if that's the case, show us. I told you the political class, they don't live on the same rules as we wananchi do. So somebody influential and powerful and have money and connection like within Kenya, body politics within him in the system of Kenya. If he has money like that, you think IEBC will stop him from running for presidency? Are you kidding me? No, they won't. If Mike Sonko ran for governor, and we all know Mike Sonko does not have a degree from anywhere, okay? But he became a governor, okay? Sakaja, Johnston Sakaja, ran for governorship. Okay, we know he did not graduate. He lied that he's dual under University of Nairobi, Maras Kaenda University up in Uganda, and his degree was fake. He is the current governor of Nairobi. So we know this political class, okay, these guys don't live by the same rules as we do. Wewe ukienda kutafuta kazi utalii college au utalii nini utalii, let's say when the Hilton naenda kutafuta kazi Hilton, and they say the minimum requirement to be the manager there is to have a bachelor's degree in whatever. Kama hauna your degree, you cannot fake it. If you jaribu fake it, they'll watakushtaki, okay? So we know this thing has been going on. There's a lot of people who are holding public office, but they don't have the degree. So is Raila the exception? Because he's been running for president all this time. So this argument that some of the Azimio supporters, and this is not about Azimio or Kenya Kwanza, you can be Azimio and think otherwise in this issue. You know, it can go either way. But this argument, when people come in and start telling you that, oh, Raila has been running for president for five times now, so that automatically means that he's an engineer. He has that engineer degree. No, negative. That does not mean that he has it. We want to see it. Now he's going for a proper big chair. AU chairman, do you have the degree? Because that's the least you can have. PhD is an added advantage, but master's degree is what the minimum requirement for this position. Is it true? I am reading you. I told you, Makao Mutua is telling us here. Makao Mutua, 1 hour ago, Makao Mutua. You guys know who Makao Mutua. He says, every Kenyan knows at least one Kenyan with false, fake academic papers. True or false? Why will he say that? In the midst of this debate of whether Raila Odinga actually holds a degree or not. Why would he say that? That is a shade, undercut, a shade on Raila Odinga. A shade on Raila Odinga. Let's get started. Are you ready? Please grab some popcorn, kama unakula tafadhali weka chakula chini. Kama unakula popcorn, weka popcorn chini. Ukipata hii notification, if you're watching a movie, if you're in the middle of a date, stop, get off your date, kuja hapa kwa mtandao. Niko karibu kuonyesha vitu ambayo itakufanya ufikirie, hii ni ukweli kweli. Ingieni hapo. Wacha nionyeshe basi picha. If you think mimi si enjoy mtu, please, ndio hiyo link ukitaka kuja if you want to convince me otherwise, link is there. Like the video. We're getting in. Haya, tuanze basi na hii kinini kipindi ni chalala salama ndugu yangu. Let's start with this, okay? Are you guys ready? Sawa, twende. Raila Odinga, we shall get to the bottom of this. But let's start with this right here, okay? There was something about KTN. KTN walikuja na habari hapo kidogo.
Even kuibua gumzo.
Sawa, ngoja
kuhusu sababu haswa ya ziara hiyo. Masomo ya Odinga yameibua maswali mengi haswa kutoka kwa mahasimu wake
kisiasa. Hebu tuanze. Haya ndio hiyo basi.
Okay, tukiendelea na taarifa zetu, kinara wa Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Raila Odinga amekuwa nchini Ujerumani kwa siku kadhaa walivyosomea miaka 60, safari yake ikiendelea kuibua kuhusu sababu haswa kutusi. Mwanahabari wetu wa masuala ya siasa na taarifa zaidi.
Pindi tu alipotangaza rasmi kwamba atakuwa debeni kwa kinyang'anyiro cha wenyekiti wa tume ya Umoja wa Afrika AUC, kinara wa Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Raila Odinga alifunga safari na kuelekea moja kwa moja hadi Ujerumani, ambako alinoa makali yake ya elimu kutoka miaka 1960 hadi miaka 1970. Tangu alipotua huko, waziri mkuu huyo wa zamani amekuwa mwenye shughuli nyingi kwenye mitandao yake ya kijamii. Jumanne akiandika kwenye mtandao wake wa X kwamba amezuru taasisi ya Hada mjini Leipzig, akijikumbusha aliposomea.
Straight away the apologies of our leader, the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, will be trying to get back today from Germany.
Odinga anayetarajiwa kurejea nchini hivi karibuni, akisema kwamba amefurahishwa sana na hatua za chuo hicho, akionekana kitagusana na wahadhiri pamoja na wanafunzi katika taasisi hiyo. Hapa ndipo Raila alijifunza lugha ya Kijerumani ambayo anaielewa kwa kiwango cha kadri. Baadaye Odinga alizuru chuo cha von Guerich Magburg alikosomea uhandisi wa ufundi. Safari ya Odinga katika shule aliyosomea zimeendelea kuibua gumzo baada ya video za kitambo kirejeshwa.
Kama kuna mtu ambaye hajulikani makaratasi yake ni ule candidate wa president wa Azimio. Makaratasi yake haijulikani imetoka kwa university gani. Huyo candidate wenu wa Azimio ni mtu ambaye hana classmate hata moja.
Nikafanya utafiti nikapata huyo Ngaru ambaye ni bwana yake ni jamaa tulisoma naye Ujerumani. Injinia Ngaru ndio yuko pale.
Odinga alianza masomo yake ya msingi katika shule ya msingi ya Kisumu Union, baadaye akaelekea katika shule ya upili ya Maranda. Mnamo mwaka 1962 Raila aliondoka kwenye shule hiyo akifululiza moja kwa moja hadi nchini Ujerumani alipoanza masomo yake ya juu katika taasisi ya Hada. Mwaka 1965 Odinga alipata ufadhili na kuingia katika chuo cha kiufundi cha Magburg ambacho sasa ni sehemu ya chuo kikuu cha Leipzig. Mwaka 1970 Odinga alifuzu na shahada ya uzamili katika tasnia ya uhandisi. Kiongozi huyo wa ODM baadaye alifunza katika chuo kikuu cha Nairobi.
And I started teaching at this university at the tender age of 25. My department is just the one opposite here. And I would be there and I would walk across here, going to the senior common room, which is this other side.
Baadhi ya mahitaji ya kielimu kuwania nafasi ya mwenyekiti wa AUC ni ikiwemo shahada uzamili ya sheria, mahusiano ya kitaifa, uchumi, biashara na sayansi ya siasa. Chama cha ODM hata hivyo kimetoa taarifa kupitia kwa katibu mkuu wake Edwin Sifuna kusema Raila anasalia kwenye siasa za kitaifa licha yake kuwa debeni kwa nafasi hiyo ya AUC. Duru zinasema Rais William Ruto atakuwa anazindua kikosi cha kampeni cha Odinga kugombea nafasi hiyo ya AU kikiongozwa na waziri mwandamizi Musalia Mudavadi. Hata hivyo, picha hizi kati ya Rais mstaafu Uhuru Kenyatta akiwa kwenye mkutano na Rais wa Tanzania Samia Suluhu Hassan zimeibua maswali, kwani baadhi ya wandani wamemtaka Kenyatta kugombea nafasi hiyo inayomezewa mate pia na aliyekuwa rais wa zamani wa Tanzania Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete. Emmanuel To, KTN News, Nairobi.
Naam mtazamaji. Haya, sasa tunaambiwa umepata hiyo. Even Ruto during campaign, uliona hapo Ruto was claiming, hey Raila, ujamaa hana hata classmate moja. The one classmate that he labeled, we've never heard of it. Basi, again, I'm telling you, if Professor Mutua, Professor Makau Mutua, who's the closest person to within Raila's circle in this past election in 2022, who seems to have abandoned him by now, but I don't think they have fallen out, because usually when he comes to Kenya, he always still hangs out with Raila Odinga. He just posted saying, every Kenyan knows at least one Kenyan with false, fake academic papers. Why would he say that? Why? Isn't that a shade on Raila Odinga? Because this is the talk right now. Everyone is discussing, does Raila actually have this engineering degree? Something. Let's go to somebody who you're familiar with. His name is Miguna. Actually has something today to say that was very, 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 I'm telling you, very, very interesting regarding Raila Odinga. Let's go to his Twitter page. Because this is Miguna versus Raila Odinga. Who is telling the truth? Is it Raila Odinga or is it Miguna? Who do you believe? Let's review. You know, Miguna always makes some pronouncements or he tweets some things, and they seem to be so outlandish, you know, and people are outraged by sometimes what he says. Like he told us once the Mandamano stopped, he told us Raila Odinga was already paid in April. The handshake is already on. And people are like, Miguna keeps nyamaza, you're just bitter with Raila Odinga, whatever. But these things come to fruition after a few months. We see that, Olusegun is telling us, actually, these guys met down back in April. So there's some modicum of truth in what Miguna is telling us. Regardless of how outrageous his claims might be sometimes, he's actually telling the truth. And he always have receipts. But Raila Odinga tells us one thing, and remember, we are going to remove Ruto. 10 signatures, 10 million signatures that will make us succeed from Kenya. Ikafall hivyo. Sijui nini, let's open the server. The server must be open. Server bado haijafunguliwa. Sijui this. So the two have a track record. Okay? I'm not saying in this issue of makaratasi ya academia that Miguna is right and Raila is wrong. I have no idea. Just like you don't have an idea. Maybe unless you have seen the engineering degree by Raila Odinga. But all I'm saying, if you're looking at the two gentlemen's track record, Miguna always makes some claims that seem outrageous. But in fact, they usually come into fruition. They turn out to be true, as outrageous as they might sound. I am going to but anyway, as outrageous as they may be, they usually come into, they end up with truth. Like the video, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, like the video. Come on, akula popcorn, weka popcorn chini. Come on, kuna bibi sitaki kuongea saa hizi. Tune into Kenya Revolution right now. I'm about to tell you something that is very shocking. Thank you. Goody, anakuona hapo umeingia tafadhali. Asante sana kwa kujiunga nasi. That's Agwambo is running game on us. So what I'm trying to say is this: when we look at the history, matamshi ya Raila Odinga na matamshi ya Miguna, historically, one seems to be making outrageous claims when he told us that Raila Odinga has entered into a handshake with Ruto, and we almost stoned him, tulimwattack, tukamtukana, tukamwambia wewe Miguna, wewe penda huko. Okay? Raila Odinga, on the other hand, promised us, fungweni sava, fanya hivi. None of it came to fruition. But Miguna actually was proven right. The handshake had happened back in April. And Olusegun confirmed it. So while we are outraged by his Twitter texts, they kind of become true. But the guy who we are looking at as the legit guy, let's go to his tweets. Because the tweets is what kind of give us the sweets. The tweets give us the sweets. Let's go. Let's look at it. Tafadhali, if you want to if you think Raila Odinga has the engineering degree, let me know on the comment section. If you want to talk about it, enter the link ndio nimeliweka. Niweke tena. Wacha niweke tena just for fun. Wacha niweke link ndio hiyo below. Link iko hapo. Thank you Godia kwa kuambia. Tafadhali, as Godia is saying, please like the video, share and subscribe. Like the video right now before I even that's your tafadhali. Subscribe, share, like, and comment. Okay, let's go to the tweets. The latest tweets by Miguna is what actually it's not funny, but hey, jamani, wacha tuone tu. Wacha tuisome. Haya, tuacha mimi nitaisoma. Okay, so here it is. Can you see it clearly? Okay, nimei enlarge kidogo ndio upate nafasi ya wewe kuisoma pia. Yeah? Haya, tuisome pamoja. Okay. This was written 2 hours ago by Miguna. Remember, I told you Makao Mutua wrote something 1 hour ago saying every Kenyan knows at least one Kenyan with false, fake academic papers, true or false. Aliuliza kwa nini yake. And I asked, why would Makao Mutua, somebody who was very close to Raila Odinga, who was advising Raila Odinga during the last presidential election, okay? Why would he write something like that in his tweet, okay? In the midst of this engineering certificate controversy, okay? Why would he write something? Now let's look at Miguna. Miguna writes this. Raila Aluo, that is his name, okay? Raila Odinga's name. Raila Aluo attended, let me enlarge it. Let me start again. Raila Aluo attended Kumulo Intermediate School up to Standard 4. He then joined Maranda Intermediate School up to grade 6 before he was expelled for pelting his teacher, James Oremo, with stones. He then hitched a ride to Dar es Salaam with Miru Loriako Okelo and Caleb Olali, then to Cairo and East Germany. Hey. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gudia. Waambie waingie. Ingie. Tafadhali ingieni. Mumesikia hiyo? Miguna is putting it with names. Amekuja na receipt. Asemi tu ati sijui nani he names the people who he traveled to and he went to school with, and even the teacher that was stoned. I'll read it again. Hey. This was 2 hours ago from Miguna. Raila Aluo, that is the name of Raila Odinga, attended Komulo Intermediate School up to standard 4. He then joined Maranda Intermediate School up to grade 6, class 6, before he was expelled for pelting his teacher, James Oremo, with stones. He then hitched a ride to Dar, which is Dar es Salaam, okay, with Mirulo, a gentleman called Mirulo Riako Okelo, and Caleb Olali. Then to Cairo and East Germany. So Raila Odinga, okay, he hit his teacher. His teacher's name was James Oremo. Not Orengo, but Oremo, Oraemo, with stones. Then he hitched a ride to Dar es Salaam with somebody called Mirulo Riako Okelo and Caleb Olali. Then to Cairo, then to East Germany. Munasikia? So Miguna is giving you the names of the people. The name of the teacher of Raila Odinga during intermediate Maranda High School, where he pelted. I don't know if you know the meaning of pelted. Can I break it down? Kama kisungu ni ngumu kidogo, kisongo. Pelted means jamaa alichukua mawe akamcharaza nayo. Alimcharaza barabara. Okay, alichukua mawe akamtupia mwalimu wake bwana James Oremo. Si James Orengo, but James Oremo. Okay? Alafu akafukuzwa hapo hiyo shule. Baada ya kufukuzwa, okay, alihitch a ride kwenda Dar es Salaam na jamaa anaitwa Mirulo Riako Okelo na Caleb Olali. Akaenda huko wapi? Akaenda huko Cairo. Alafu baada ya kwenda Cairo akaenda wapi? East German. Mwelewa? So Miguna came with what? Receipts, names, places, and receipts. People who are still alive, name, places, receipts. Kwako Raila Odinga, can you dispute that? We are not going to stop there. We are not going to stop there because we are not even stopping there. There are some things. We are going to go in and see who is telling the truth and who's not. Okay, let's go back. Raila Odinga, okay? There's something right, okay? Something right, all right? 15 hours ago. If the next AU Commission chair must be a Luo from Kenya, we have many qualified candidates like retired General Pande and Piolo Lumumba. But to try to impose a semi-illiterate senile who will be sleeping in meetings and shame our people and country is a firm no. Okay, that doesn't say much about his Ninio. But let's go back to something also. Okay, here it is. 15 hours ago, what Miguna wrote. Are we ready? I'm going to read it loudly again, okay? In 1995, the current Maseno University used to be called, in 1965, okay? In 1965, the current Maseno University used to be called Siriba Teachers Training College. It trained primary school teachers and awarded them certificates. However, retired teachers who graduated from Siriba cannot claim in 2024 that they hold degrees from Maseno University, which did not exist when they attended Siriba in 1965. Hey, Pibim Tialala. Siriba, before it was later called Maseno, it was used to be a teachers' college where they used to teach teachers. They used to train teachers, okay? So if you went there as a teacher in 1965, as a trainee, if you were there trained as a teacher in 1965, okay? In 2024, today, you cannot say that I went to Maseno University. I have a degree in Maseno University because I was trained in Siriba, in Maseno when it was used to call Tiriba, teachers college. You see what I'm saying? Okay? So let's go on. He's not stopping there. That is not it. That is not it. He's tracking Raila Odinga. Okay, Raila Odinga, please, if you're Raila Odinga supporter, come in, chime in. Okay, here it is. Miguna is saying something else. A bachelor's degree in Germany is called, this is a big word, baccalaureus. Please, German-speaking people, come in and help me. I know this is called a baccalaureate. Baccalaureus. Please help me with the pronunciation. I'm not good in German. This is German. I can't say it, but you get the drift if you can see it. It's called baccalala, okay? A master's degree in Germany is called a magister, okay? A doctorate in Germany is called promotion. Okay, I'll start again. A bachelor's degree in Germany is called, it's kind of like a baccalaureate, but they spell it different. I don't know the pronunciation. A master's degree in Germany is called a magister. A doctorate in Germany is called promotion. Okay? What desperation makes an 80-year-old grandfather and the Gideri media to lie so shamelessly about these? Anyway, we want to see Conman Primary School, is referring to Odinga. We want to see Raila Odinga's primary school and secondary school certificates. Okay? Then somebody said, we were told that he went to Maranda High. Listen to the Nino. He did not. Right? Nani Miguna says he did not. There was no Maranda Secondary School in 1963 when he left for East Germany. You hear that? So he's deconstructing what has been said about Raila before. So Raila apologists and Raila people who don't agree with Raila, ingieni hapa, link ndio hiyo, kuja utuambie what is the real biography of Raila Odinga. Can you come here and tell us? Does he have certificates? Do you have a copy of the certificates of Raila Odinga? Ingieni hapa munieleze. I want to know the truth. I just want to know the truth. I'm not for or against Raila. I just want to know the truth. Okay? Ingieni hapa. Then this is not isitoshe hapo. Isitoshe hapo. Okay? Isitoshe hapo. He still goes on. There was one again. There's again another one that he wrote. Okay, here it is. Okay, here it is. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. All right, here it is. Then he's saying this. He claimed to have, Raila, he claimed to have graduated with an engineering degree. Hey, this is heavy. Are you listening to this? Listen to this. This is what he said. He claimed to have graduated with an engineering degree from his high school, in quotes. But there he is looking like a non-existing high school, looking for a non-existing high school certificate with his age mates, when his age mates are enjoying retirement with their grandchildren. Let's see the copies of his primary school and secondary school certificates. Mere pictures won't do, okay? This is when Raila Odinga was taking pictures with those kids. Again, I say this, okay? That school, the Harder Institute, has never at one point was it a high school. It was an institute. It was like a college, like a technical college, polytechnic, okay? Right now, it has been, it is part of the Leipzig University, okay? University of Leipzig, okay? So when Raila was writing there saying that, memories of my days in high school, you can say that because Harder Institute has never at one point was it a high school. It has never been a high school. It's a technical school. So what is Raila talking about? Raila Odinga, come on, ingieni hapa hivi. Wacha niweke link hapo. Mtu anataka kuingia akuje aniambie, Raila Odinga, where's the certificates? Where did you come at Germany new? You heard him say when he was like, I used to teach here when I was 25. Alafu akasema ati my office was right there and sijui nini right there. Very vague. Ruto asked, Uhuru nani akauliza, Miguna asked, and so many people asked, can we even when he went to Germany, the easiest thing he could have done is angepiga picha hata aende atafute mzungu fulani atuonyeshe, huyu ndio mzungu tu, this is my friend, it was my deskmate in 1967 or whatever in that school, ndio huyu rafiki yetu, I went to school with him. I mean, you guys have gone to college. Wale watu ambao wameenda college na wale watu walienda high school ama watu wako huko maninio, huko mainje, huko majuu, okay? If you go to school with somebody, at least you have one kamzungu friend who you went to school class with. You can go visit them and upige picha useme, nani, ndio huyu, sijui, whatever name is. You can tell the people, okay, this is my schoolmate classmate from 1967, class of 1967, okay? We were classmates in the engineering class, or we were in the psychology class. Okay, we took the prerequisite class with it. We took the social science with this. He was in my physics class. Here is so and so. mzungu moja tu, tafuta tu mzungu moja ulienda nayo klasini hapo tuonyeshe, this was my classmate, this was my classes that we went to school in Harder Institute of Technology. This mtu one person to wewe unaenda unapiga picha, and those people, to make it worse, those people in those pictures, they look Asian. Wote hakuna mtu anafanana Mjerumani hapo, okay? But that's not important. Documentation beats the what? The conversation. Raila Odinga, ingieni hapa hivi. Anybody ingieni hapa. Somebody tell me if you think Raila Odinga has graduated in and has an his university degree. Kuja unieleze kinaga ubaga if Raila actually has this, or is been bullshitting Kenyans for years now. Okay, is he a conman or is he actually graduated? I'm not saying he's lying to us. I'm not saying he's not lying to us. But I just want to know the truth. For those who are claiming that Raila is an engineer, ingieni hapa mnionyeshe. Tueleze. Pibi mtialala. Conman. Oh, no, he's not conman. Let me not call it conman. That's Miguna. Okay? But I want somebody to explain to me, if you have seen Raila's certificate, ingieni hapa mnionyeshe. Ingia. I played you right. I told you. Nani ametuonyesha hapa? What's his name? What is his name? Macau Mutua today. His tweet is revealing. Okay? Ametuonyesha hapo. Akatuambia. He says every Kenyan knows at least one Kenyan with false or fake academic papers. What is he insinuating in that text? And this is somebody close to Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga, show us a copy of your certificate. Ingieni hapo, wacha niweke link. And by the way, like this video. Like! Sio tafadhali, ni tafadhali. Tafadhali. Like, comment. Kama uja subscribe mara moja. The first order of business, tafadhali. Ingieni hapo. Tafadhali. Subscribe and like this video. Like this video. I want people, Raila supporters, ingieni munieleze. Mimi si enjoy. I'm not here to ridicule anyone. To be fair to Raila, I don't know the truth. Siwezi ingia hapa niseme hivyo or the other. Wacha jieleze mwenyewe, wafuasi wake ambao, people who are supporting Raila Odinga. If you think you can be fair, you can be a supporter and be like, you know what, I don't think he has it because of A, B, and C, and E, and D. And you can say, oh, I think he has it. He just haven't showed it yet. Okay? But from what matamshi yake mwenyewe, mimi sidhani huyu jamaa ako nayo. Because what he's actually been showing is like, I was curious at his ninio. Me, yale matamshi yake ndio, I was so kind of taken aback by his matamshi. Matamshi yake ndio, especially, in fact, I want you to pay attention to this part when he was saying about when he was in Nairobi or whatever the case is. That's the part that actually got me. But before I play this one, please like the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like it. You try and get hapo. Tukimaliza. I won't stay for long, but I just want to show you this again so you can fuatilia kidogo tu. There's a place that I want you to hear, okay? Haya, tuende tu hapo tu.
Video za kitambo zikirejeshwa.
Kama kuna mtu ambaye hajulikani makaratasi yake, ile candidate wa makaratasi yake haijulikani imetoka kwa university gani, huyo kwa Azimio ni mtu ambaye hana class
mbali bwana yake.
Okay.
Odinga,
who is this Ngaru? Can somebody type in Ngaru? What's this Ngaru guy? Engineer Ngaru. Who is Ngaru? I want to find out who Ngaru is. We want to find him. Actually,
baadaye akielekea katika shule ya upili ya Maranda mnamo mwaka 1962, Raila aliondoka kwenye shule hiyo akifululiza moja kwa moja hadi nchini Ujerumani alipoanza masomo yake ya juu katika taasisi ya Harder. Mwaka 1965, Odinga alipata ufadhili na kuingia katika chuo cha kiufundi cha Magdeburg ambacho sasa ni sehemu ya chuo kikuu cha Leipzig. Mwaka 1970, Odinga alifuzwa na shahada ya uzamili katika tasnia ya uhandisi. Kiongozi huyo wa ODM baadaye alifunza katika chuo kikuu cha Nairobi.
And attaching at this university at the tender age of 25. My department is just the opposite here. And I would be there and I would walk across here, going to the room, to this other side.
Baadhi ya mahitaji ya kielimu kuwania nafasi ya mwenyekiti wa AUC ni ikiwemo shahada ya uzamili ya sheria, mahusiano ya kitaifa, uchumi, biashara na sayansi ya siasa. Chama cha ODM hata hivyo kimetoa.
You see, when he was saying my office was here, sijui wapi pale, very vague. He's not actually specific. But ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters and friends, enemies and comrades, as I want to make sure that you understand what I'm saying. If you are to go by the promises between these two gentlemen, Miguna, okay, and Raila Odinga, we've seen Miguna's matamshi, his texts, his pronouncements are always controversial. They cause an outrage, but in the end, he's always vindicated in his claims. These are outrageous, outlandish, seemingly outlandish claims, okay? Just like he said, they had a handshake before, Ruto and Raila had a handshake. Yes, it's true that it happened, okay? And in so many occasions, he has actually said it. So I'm just comparing the two gentlemen. Raila Odinga has promised us a lot, and none of it has come to fruition, okay? So I'm saying, who is to believe here, okay? I'm not saying Raila Odinga is not telling the truth about his engineering thing, but if we are to look at evidence, there's no evidence that suggests that this man actually got an engineer degree. We saw the pictures that he took when he went to the Harder Institute, and he wrote there that it was a high school. And actually, Harder Institute is not a high school. It is a college, okay? So that is the first red flag. Number two, his history on Maseno, whatever, when he went to Maranda school back then in 1960s, okay? There's no consistency in his story. There's a lot of holes in his biography when it comes to his education background. And to top it off, his very close ally, Professor Mutua, comes in this today and writes, every Kenyan knows at least one Kenyan with fake or false academic papers. What does that tell you? Does he know something? Is he insinuating something? I know he's a Kalonzo guy, but why would somebody so close to Raila Odinga write something in the midst of this wave, this brouhaha that Raila has caused while we are talking and questioning his qualifications, his academic papers? Something does not sit right. Raila, the only thing he can do to actually shut everyone down is to come up and post, just like Obama. You know, when they were questioning Obama if he really actually was a citizen, what did he do? He posted a copy of his birth certificate at the White House website, okay? So Raila Odinga, with all these questions being asked now, if you are actually qualified for this position, if you're really an engineer, can you post your certificate in your website, ODM website, or whatever website, your Twitter page, so people can look at it and they can verify if you truly graduated, if that certificate is legit, and they'll call these schools that you said you attended. They can verify, and then his story itaisha hivyo, so you can kill all this. It's simple as that, Raila Odinga. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades, tafadhalini, wekeni like kwa hii video. Musipoweka like kwa hii video na kuambia tafadhali, na sio tafadhali ni tafadhali. Weka like and subscribe. I know you've been watching this secretly, maybe because you don't agree with me, you don't like what I'm saying. Subscribe so you can actually watch more of me, and the more you listen to me, the more you'll see how reasonable I am or unreasonable I am. Thank you very much for listening. This is Kenyan Revolutionary. Ladies and gentlemen, make your voice be known. Comment, niambie. I'm giving you 5 minutes for those of you who want to join and tell me something about this. If you believe in it or don't believe it. If you believe Raila has an engineer, I'm giving you 5 minutes. I'll post the link one more time for anyone and anybody, Raila, even Raila Odinga, Sifuna, everyone. Ingieni hapa naika link. Kuja uniambie, does Raila actually have this qualification? Does he have? I'm not talking about, you can qualify for a position without actually having a degree. You know that, right? That I can agree. But the question is, does he actually have the academic requirements? Yo karatasi, does he have it? If he has it, please, ingia. If he doesn't have it and you think he doesn't have it, ingia, niambie. Naeka link one more time. I'm giving you 5 minutes, guys. If you want to get in and tell me something, if you don't want it, I'll wrap it up. But I will post it one more time to give you, whether you are on whatever I. Oh, shoot. Okay. Poleni. Shoot. All right. Okay, here's the link. Hold on. Hey, let us quick a link. Guy. Let me go, Jenny. Was make sure it's the guy. Hello. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just adjusting this. As you can see, Raila Odinga. Okay, hold on. Trying to get. Okay, I'm glad you can hear me. Sorry. Haya, watu wa Raila Odinga, ingieni hapo mnieleze vile Raila kuna hiyo degree yake alipata sijui wapi 19 sijui ngapi. Link ndio hiyo, whoever wants to get. Laban, I see you there. KK is funny. Anyway, this was a response to remember yesterday the Raila team walikuwa wameandika link iko hapo kwa ninio chali amoni link link iko kwa chat. Am I audible? I hope I'm audible. Oh. Hey, Pen Nyagaka! Hey, Pen Nyagaka! Nyagaka tunamwona. Thank you, Nyagaka. Long time. Nyagaka ni OG. Triple OG. From our Mutembei days. Karibu. Karibu sana. Credits, persistence, transparency to be over. Okay. Yeah, KK ndio namuona mengia. Yes, KK, karibu sana umeuliza link. Niambie, what do you think? When mtu wa Raila unaniambia Raila anaenda AUC ako na degree 3, hebu nieleze.
Wewe, nauliza.
Yeah.
Did you just change your clothes, bro? Because, I thought like, did this guy get hacked or what is this? Because
Charlie, don't worry about it. Nini technical maneuver.
Oh my God, man. Yo, you're figuring what all of us have known for a long time. This guy has been a con man for a long time. Angalia, anything he's been a part of, he's a CIA plant. If you think about it, a government would take somebody like him who knows, wanajua all his flaws. Using all his flaws, they would manipulate him to do his job, their job, deceiving the Kenyans, realizing how much, he has this worship, people worship him, which is sad, kind of. If you think about anybody who have any type of faith, you don't worship God. There's only one, whatever created, whatever faith you have. This is exactly a perfect plan for the CIA. And I'm glad that we are talking about things like this. So these kind of people can get exposed. Because, yes, this is why our country is where it is.
Yes, you're right, because you have to ask yourself, Ujama is always the constant. Yani every regime since Moi regime is always the opposition. Na hakuna mtu anamtoanga kwa hiyo opposition. Yeye ndio kuanga opposition. Is it by accident or design?
It's designed to look that way. Even this thing now, that's why he was brought in. He's still getting his cut. Even before even before Gen Z movement started, he was still getting his cut. Analipwa. And unfortunately, it's I would be shocked. Those people who work in banks, who knows his bank accounts, who see, I guarantee you, if somebody checked, there's a way that money comes to his account, in government, outside government, because he is a plant.
Yeah, I believe so too. Actually, that's what opened my eyes. Was the last. Hold on, sorry. Oh, there's a clip ya nani, clip ya Miguna when he was talking about this. Actually, he mentioned that Ujamaa, if you think about it, 1982, of all the people, nani, what's that nani? Ule mwanajeshi ambaye Ochuka was killed, but Ochuka was really not a big shot, like in the military or whatever the case, in the Air Force. He was a junior officer, whatever the case is. And where will they get the money to, organize, plan all these things? And of all the people, everyone was hanged, arrested, or whatever the case is. But Raila survived for some reason. So, how is that?
I think there's something happening. And some of what is happening, and I think hakufikiria vizuri, because anadhani yeye ni mjanja kuliko kila mtu. Whatever he did was the best thing that he did for Kenya, to expose himself. And now, shida yake ni sahi, by now, the US, the CIA, whatever, the foreign government, wanamtumia, wameexposiwa. Hana haja anymore. They're done with him. That's why he's so desperate, if you think about it. Kuna watu kaa sisi, we are looking at these things. We can connect one plus one, and we can see. And they know, the West know. Kuna watu kaa sisi tunaangalia hizi vitu. We can see. Unajua wameshabaniwa. Unajua, like the way, I don't know if you watch this movie. It's a movie series, Homeland.
I've heard of it, but is it on HBO or something like that?
I think it's on HBO Max. HBO Max.
Yeah,
The spy agencies or whatever they do whatever they do in Afghanistan, kind of.
Yeah, I should start watching that. I saw the Neo Nisha on commercial yake. It's been there for a while, actually, right?
It's old, actually. It's old. Yeah. Before Trump. So after Trump, then you can't even make a movie when somebody's insulting everybody else and there's nothing about it, right? So if you watch that, now some of us we follow, like, cause mimi nimekuwa nikifollow like the US politics for a long time since nikuja huku. You can be able to pinpoint, because you can be able to view kila kitu from an angle above. You see what is happening here, and then you try to connect the interests that in each country. Then you add it up. This person is never been our own people. Amekuwa kitumiwa up for a long time to destabilize us, to make sure that we don't move ahead. And I don't know why it's so hard for all of us. Mpaka sahi amefanya hivi. Some of us cannot even see. And by the way, I want to engage one person. Laban, whatever you're saying, nobody even cares. Nobody gives a fuck what you think.
Laban unipatianga ma-challenge hapo kwa comment section. Laban ingia.
Anataka attention, Sometimes you have to ignore people. Like, if I walk outside and I see a madman insulting me, I don't even care. Laban, nobody cares. But it's sad. Tunajaribu kuokoa nchi yetu. Unapata mtu kama Laban hapa anakuja matope. He know he's hata hako nini clear whatever he's trying to say.
Yeah. So anyway, so here's the Nino I wanted to play. I hope Nani had any flag for this video, but this is for education purposes only. This is not monetized, but I just wanted to. I think this interview was quite revealing.
Don't call him Baba. I swore in Raila Odinga.
Okay.
Yes.
You swore in
Raila Amolo Odinga. He's not your father. Don't denounce your father. You have a father.
But you can have more than one.
No, you have only one father. Your DNA traces directly to your father.
So you don't
Not
believe in the
Odinga.
Baba name?
He isn't Baba.
Okay. Prime Minister.
I only call two people Baba. The God and my father.
Okay.
Nobody else deserves that title.
Okay.
Yeah.
His Excellency, the Prime Minister, Raila Odinga.
It's Raila Amolo Odinga. Titles are not names.
Okay. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Which most of us were just like, treason, treason, this is gonna make it.
How is it treasonable?
You're swearing in another president. There was another president.
There was no president. First of all, I didn't recognize Uhuru Kenyatta as president, and I have never done so. As far as I'm concerned, Uhuru Kenyatta was an illegitimate president. He was not legitimately elected. He imposed himself on power. Twice. He did not win the 2013 election, and he did not win the 2017 election. That's a fact. You see, the reason they couldn't take me to court, because they knew they couldn't prove Uhuru won if I was confronted with that question. They could not bring that question to me because they knew I would be able to prove beyond any reasonable doubt that Uhuru Kenyatta was not a legitimate president.
Okay.
He was an imposter. He should be the one charged with treason.
So when you did the swearing in, you recognized Raila as the president.
Correct. He was the president. And up to now, I believe he's the one who won the election. Unfortunately, Raila is so cowardly, ran away from his own power. I gave him the power, which he deserved, because he won an election. But the cowardly, greedy man ran away from it and recognized an illegitimate imposter. See, that's the tragedy of Africa.
Can you pause this?
Raila refused to surrender.
Can you stop this? Can you stop this?
Okay.
Would have complete democracy in Kenya. But elections would never.
Pause it. Again, if you think about what Miguna is saying, and Asema, this guy was the guy who won, right? If you think about he won, which is fair.
Right.
And according to his job, he's supposed to be the opposition.
Yes.
This is why he is not even smart enough to know how to do the other things. Again, he has all the fake papers.
Yeah.
No. West want us to have like a fake, like fake faith, because they don't want us to move ahead. If you think about the society, our country is we have one of the most, and Ruto said this, we have the youngest generation of people, smartest generations. The whole world, we are one of the top. And this is a threat to the West. And the East too as well. So this is why Ruto is messing the whole education system, so we don't have too many smart people. Because once you have too many smart people, you see what is happening with Gen Zs. Wanaona kila kitu, wanaona nini mbaya na nchi yao. This is a game to them. And I want anybody watching, unaangalia what is happening. You kind of think a little bit, take yourself out of it. View it from above. This is very intentional. Play the video if you or comment on top of it.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. That's your incident yao, it kwa sababu if you think about it, if there was a popular revolution before this Gen Z movement that actually removed was going to remove a sitting president, it was that day when Wali apisha Raila, because apparently the plan was Raila na apisha as the popular president, then they were to go State House, Kumachi State House. They already overpowered the police security forces that were trying to stop them from going to New York. And this is what I said also. And I always say it. This is the tactic that they used. Wakina Joho, everyone, every part of the country were meeting up in Nairobi at Uhuru Park. And I remember watching the news, our wanasiasa were hiring buses to carry free youth kutoka Mombasa, Kisumu, I don't know, every part of the country except Rift Valley and Central maybe. But every other youth walikuwa nakuja Nairobi, and they succeeded. So Raila vile aliapishwa kuambiwa okay, the people wamekuchoose, wamekuambia wewe ni president, he turned it down. Why? Because he understood, to your point, his role as the official opposition. His role is to play as the official. Any grassroots revolutionary movement that inakuja juu inataka kutoa the political class, Raila always does what? Anajiasert to destroy it, and that's his position. That's why when Gen Z cornered Ruto to the corner and they were about to take him out, what happened? Raila conveniently went and met Ruto to fortify and help him legitimize his position as the president, because he was facing a popular revolution similar to Bangladesh. So I agree. Raila has always been an agent of the West used to subdue any grassroots popular revolutionary movement in Kenya. That is a fact. So for you, Raila minions, get a grip. We all know Ruto and Uhuru and Moi. I can cut Kibaki some slack because he was old, alikuwa na chezwa. But those are Western puppets. Known. Moi, we can go back. We already know Moi was Reagan's puppy. So we know that. So yeah, Raila has always been used as the guy who controls any opposition movement, any grassroots revolutionary movement. He has to control them by reasserting himself, using his credential as this fake fighter or freedom fighter who fought for the multi-party democracy and all this nonsense that they always remind us that he did. He never fought for any multi-party democracy. Raila fought for his stomach. That's what it is. Raila was a billionaire before even the multi-party democracy. So miss me with that for you, Raila folks. Anyways, going ahead, listen to this. That's why I'm telling you this. The Neo was very, very interesting to me. It was very revealing. Let me play on and I'll
never be
if you want
questioned. Nobody would say, oh, were these elections legitimate? People would recognize the results because we would have put an end to it. But because we did not put an end to it, that's why it's still making noise.
Oh, crap.
This journey will be dangerous all the way to Oregon.
Yeah.
Bro, ad block.
If he had done what I told him to do, he would.
What's that?
Ad block works. Usually, like, don't use ad blocks. So usually, like, we only play things like this. I couldn't any commercials in between.
Okay.
Not be crying on the streets today. Let him cry very loudly.
So you believe if Raila stuck to his guns right now, we'd be having Raila as a president?
No, I said we would have legitimate democracy that everybody recognizes. And if you have elections, nobody would say, my victory was stolen. No. People would recognize the results because we would have ended electoral injustice. That was my purpose. I wanted to end electoral injustice, which we have had since 1964. Kenyatta was never elected.
Yeah, a lot of people don't run us back that time.
People don't recognize the fact that in 1964, Kenya was a parliamentary state. It was not a presidential system. And KANU, as a party, won the election and KADU lost. Kenya African Democratic Union lost. And because KANU won, the leader of KANU became prime minister. He was not elected. Kenyans elected KANU, not Kenyatta.
The party.
So once Kenyatta became prime minister in 1964, he decided to transform himself into a president without an election. There was no election in 1964. There was no general election. And there ought to have been. That was the birth of tyrannical and democratic governance in Kenya. Because whenever you're changing a constitution and bringing in a new order, you need to have either a referendum where universal suffrage prevails, or you have one man or one woman vote where people decide which direction they took. But this did not happen. So Kenyatta people woke up one day and Kenyatta was president. Then he decided through choreography with Jaramogi and Tom Mboya to create a one-party state. They made KANU cross the floor in parliament and join KADU joined KANU. And they merged into one party called KANU. So Kenya became de facto one-party state. There was no opposition. That was the beginning of the problems. And it took us from that time up to 2002 to correct that situation. Once that situation was corrected, we should never have reverted back to where we were before. But we did. By the time Uhuru Kenyatta is exiling me with Raila Odinga, we were worse than 1964, 1966. Because even though Jomo Kenyatta detained Jaramogi, banned KPU, and detained his colleagues, he never exiled them. He never told them, Jaramogi, you went to school in Makerere, therefore you are a Ugandan. He didn't say that. So, but look at what Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga did. They said, I'm not a Kenyan. And they knew I was a Kenyan. I ran for elections in Kenya in 2017. I tried to vie in 2007. I was his advisor for 3 years. How in the world did I turn into something else? The passport they said was not mine. They issued to me. And I traveled all over the world with it. I went to China, I went to the US, I went to Canada, I went to many countries using the same passport.
Laban, you hear that? He's talking about that passport that you're talking about. It was fake. Who gave it to him?
Passport they said was illegal. So how come these countries did not see this passport as not being legitimate? In anybody's mind, does Kenya have more sophisticated equipment than the United States of America to be able to detect what is fake?
So basically, that was serving a purpose then.
They feared me. They feared me and the National Revolutionary Movement, the NRM. They feared it, right? But why would Raila fear movement he helped create and that he was a member of? Right? Raila is the one who declared to the country the formation of NRM and said the National Rainbow Coalition had transformed itself into NRM. He said it. But like he did with other things before, he ran away from it. Remember how 1982 did not come out to be successful? The same Raila Odinga, a coward, betrayed his comrades. The same way he betrayed me.
Betrayed his comrades?
They were hanged, he was not. Why? Have you ever wondered why Raila was not hanged and Ochoka was? Ochoka was simply a senior private in the army, in the Air Force, right? So who could have been the leader of that movement? A private in the army or Raila Odinga, the son of Jaramogi? Who had the money to fund the coup? Ochoka private was earning less than 10,000 shillings. Could actually do a coup?
Can I say something?
Have you guys wondered?
Yes. Hold on.
But he was hanged.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if you think about what is happening in our place, tulipata independence in 63. These people,
your microphone was shaking. Rudia tena.
Can you hear me now? Of
Yes,
course,
yes.
I know you can. So kila kitu ilianza 1963 na haikuanza then. Sijui kama kuna mtu ameona kwa Twitter, Kenyatta was in UK having orgies over there, which is, and I know this is a family show anyways.
It's not a family show, but go ahead. Na wale mademu wazungu. Yeah.
Na wazungu, you saw it, right?
Yeah, I saw the picture with two British girls.
He was getting groomed. So to fool us that we have independence, but kila kitu ilikuwa ameshapangwa. Again, Baba yu Conman, even if he was legit, they saw the name recognition is important. So they had to turn him and use him for years. This is why we should not have anybody who serves more than 10 years and is a part of a political system. Once you get there and you get turned, then you become a slave. That's why all of us, we are slaves for the West and the East now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the game plan was at that point in time, there were two tribes that ambao walikuwa had some kind of level of education with these leaders. Kumbuka kama British, they were identifying leaders who are kind of nani amesoma hapa and who can kind of see our whole imperial rule who are against us.
Yes.
Now, to fool Kenyans, like you said, I don't think nani alikuwa jela in Britain or whatever the case is. Like you said, how uliona hiyo picha yake na hao mademu wazungu. That explains why some of his grandkids and kids are like super light skinned. But that's a topic of another day. But anyway, so Odinga, maybe he believed into the lie, or he was in on it, on the game plan. So it's either he believed in the lie, or ama APL kwa amejua Kenyatta was handpicked by the Brits to take over the British Empire, the British business called Kenya, while sisi tutasherekea ati tumepata uhuru, but the real uhuru was not yet. So that's why I hear a lot of these old Mau guys usually do not say nice things about Kenyatta. Jomo.
Yeah. My family is one of those Mau kids. I'm one of a Mau kid too. That's when I naangalia vitu from far. Maguka was one of them. That's what some of these things tumeziona for a long time. But you look at things, you can't change it by yourself. You look at where kila mtu anaenda. This is why the Gen Z movement is so important. Because tumeona hizi vitu follow. Even you, me and you. Umeona what is happening in our country. Even before hii mwaka, 5 years, 10 years before, you could see it. But you had to have people on your side. And this is why I'm telling you again, Ruto and the whole political class have to fail. They have to fail so we have genuine people ourselves running our own system. And the system has to stand on itself. Without a system, nobody cares whoever is in power. The system has to be strong enough to sustain itself.
Let me ask you this. Umejua umse alikuwa anaitwa Martin Ngatia.
Simjui.
He was based in I think it's one of those in Europe in where was it? Was it Sweden or there was a channel called the Red Alliance or something like that. Martin Ngatia, basically he was in the Air Force or Army huko 1960s huko. But he flee during Moi's regime. But he was very, very vocal and talking about the Mau Mau folks. Like that man gave a real history of what happened in Central Province. I'll put him. He has videos on YouTube, but he alikufa. Rest in peace. I just found out that like last year. And his death was kind of suspicious. First, it was his it was his wife, then akadedi, and after he died, iyo channel yake, they started being pro Raila, pro Raila, pro Uhuru Kenyatta, because he was really talking he never exposed the Uhuru Kenyatta or Ruto, everyone, even Raila. But Martin in fact, I'll find that after clip yake. He was bold. I like that old man. I didn't really find out he was dead. I was like, what? So nikaanza kufanya research yangu. I'm like, what killed him? But anyway, I'll play his clip. I'll look for his clip in a few. Nikishamaliza hii clip ya Miguna. But he kind of exposed some stuff about the Mau Mau and stuff na hizo ninio, and he was a real patriot. I mean, I wish I met him, but he lived in, I think, some Scandinavian countries. I forgot which one exactly. Anyway,
I want siju kama unajua Ngati simjui?
Yeah, Martin Ngatia.
Ngatia sijui. I'll Google him. The other point I would want to suggest to you.
Yeah.
Engineer George Onyango. Siju kama kuna mtu unamjua hapa kwa chat.
Engineer George Onyango.
Alikuwa na interview kwa Tuko. Please watch it for a case, for a situation. You understand some of what is happening in our country. He is an engineer as well. Alikuwa Turkey, and he's a genius. Technically, he's a genius. But just watch it, and you'll be able to appreciate it, and maybe we can talk about it one of these days when you're here.
Yeah. And just to mention something else too, while you're at it, huyu Martin Ngatia, you know, this guy, speaking of connecting dots, this guy, when I heard about nani huyu General Ogola lidedi, sindio? You know, again, the funny,
you know, again, that death of the guy, it's not intentional, it's purposefully done.
Hold on, hold your horses. Listen. So Viladi Dedi, me, I didn't know much about General Ogola, okay? The first time I heard his name was when kuna tweet ingine last year, I think it was April last year, something like that. Nani, Miguna was like, alikuwa naambia Ruto in his tweet, ati, hey, you know what? Umeingia serikali, but what you need to do is change the leader of your military, because you never know. The head of the military ambao bado wako hapo, all of them were Uhuru's allies. So something might happen to you. And then the very next day, that's when Ruto ali-announce nani atakuwa the head of is it KDF, huyu Ogola, right? It wasn't last year, but it was years back. Then I didn't pay much attention. Then vile nani Ogola likufa, then nikasikia ndio watu wakaanza kucheza hiyo interview ya Ogola about how Ogola was actually sent by whoever. I don't know if it was Raila and Uhuru tuangalie hiyo maneno, what was happening in the hiyo election vile kunafanyika hapo Bomas, right? Then I remembered what Martin Ngatia said about how the 2017 election was rigged, and guess there was a general who was sent at Bomas. I'll play. Should we go about this? Should we go?
Why not? Let's go. We have to go. If we don't go, our people don't know. Our people don't know these things. We have to go there.
It's appalling. It's mind-blowing, boggling. Ukianza connect hizi dos vile hawa watu nasema vitu alafu na connect na what's happening, and I'm like, what is really going on? Hold on. Wacha nitoe nini? Simshaona hiyo bina na nini, you get the gist of view Miguna stuff.
I think the person who would fit this need the link nimetuma hapo. This guy who was deported, he is an engineer. The engineer nakwambia Sami Onyango.
Sami Onyango.
He was in UK. Ameishi West yote. He was he's narrate whatever is happening now anatupatia context. This is what I want.
Umesema Sami who?
Onyango.
Sami Onyango. All right.
From Tuko TV.
Hopefully they won't flag my stuff. I know Tuko TV, but unajua natumia nini yao, so fair use. Sami Onyango.
Yes.
Okay,
he narrates the whole story, what is happening in Kenya, and he can give you how and where it's coming from. And I'm telling you this, wanyemko hapa, these things I can confidently say, Ruto and the whole thing wanaenda wote. It might not be today. They are going.
Do you have a specific jina video hiyo? Or umesema umetumia link?
Nimetuma kwa YouTube. Google, I was deported from UK.
Okay, I saw it. Okay, tuanze na Martin Gatia.
Tuanze.
I'm double. Unajua saizi niko daddy duties, lakini wewe Kiki umenichokoza. So we are going to the deep end. Twendeni. Let's get to it. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me just share the screen so we can start going to this. I'll start with Martin Gatia, then we shall go to Sami Onyango. All right.
Okay.
Let's get.
Mr. Ngatia, welcome back to this interview. Now, election campaigns are now getting very hot, and there is a lot of fear that Jubilee is planning to rig the elections. The courts have just decided that the company allocated for printing ballot papers cannot print ballot papers. Now, what is your take on, this election that is facing Kenya?
The best thing, thank you very much. The best thing is to prepare the Kenyan people for the consequence that is when Uhuru, when
can you start from here? I'll comment here.
And the President Uhuru Kenyatta, these criminals, refuses to hand over power to the opposition party, because we have seen there is clear that Jubilee is in panic. First of all, the whole Jubilee fraternity is shaking because they are thieves, they are criminals, they are fearing for their past sins, and the Uhuru does not believe being historically a one-term president in Kenya. So he is ready to shed blood to cause chaos and to kill Kenyan people. But this time, the oppressed people of Kenya are not going to accept a rigged election. We have seen Uhuru cannot win election in Kenya. The last time he was rigged by the military, by Kikuyu generals. This time he is doing the same. Uhuru is ready to shed blood, to use military, all the equipment we have seen. Of late we have seen he is using gas that is prohibited by the Geneva Convention, using this general. Now, what we want to tell or to warn the opposition party is to come with plan B. There must be plan B, obviously, because if they win, and the Uhuru Kenyatta and the Ruto refuse to hand over power, what are the opposition going to do? This criminal government has said in advance they have put in order all opposition strongholds with the military, GSU, paramilitary GSU, army, AP, people who are ready to kill with direct order to shoot, and they are going to kill. And we are very much worried because we don't want to see Kenyan people shedding blood. One death is too many. So the opposition must have plan B. Second, we can follow Gambia style. Gambia style, it worked very well. Or Cote d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, because Kenyan people this time should not accept rigged election. But we cannot keep on saying we will not accept election without proper planning. What are we going to do? What are the opposition going to do? They must be well prepared. Like the last Mapichi war, he must be sworn in. Even the army are mature politically, because they don't come from heaven. They are born in Kenya. Most of these military people come from poor families of poor backgrounds. When they are ordered to kill Kenyans, they must think twice before they shoot, because we know some of them, many of them are trigger happy. They lack common sense, and we know people who are recruited in the army are brainwashed. Most of them are brainwashed, and they are in such a situation, they are given baggy cannabis sativa or marijuana, especially GSU, and most of them are corrupt and criminals. So when they are ordered to kill Kenyans, they should refuse. They should not take orders from Kikuyu generals, because this army is controlled by criminal generals from Kalenjin and the Kikuyu. I don't need.
Sorry, guys. I hope you can hear me. I'm going to be off camera, but I will talk to you guys. The point I was making to that video, I don't know if you played that part. Mnanisikia? Naona mchezede kama join hapo. Am I audible?
Okay.
Yeah. The point, the most important point here that this guy is saying is that top military officials have always been used to go to bombers to influence the outcome of the elections. That's what took me to this. When he mentioned, I think, I don't know, Kaisha play your part. It's a 12-minute video, so you come kona yo stamina kuangalia the 12 minutes. But basically, he'll name the name of the general, ambao alienda hapo hivyo. He was associated with Uhuru Kenyatta to, determine what's the revenue. So that's why mi nilikuwa nafikiria, vile Ogola was also used in 2022 elections. Siniende alitumwa huko aende akavuruge maneno, whatever the case is. Sasa yeye kufika huko akaenda akaspill the beans to later to nani to Ruto, right? And
yes,
so vile spilled the beans, I don't know what he was, because Ruto did not disclose what he was there to do. Akusema ile Ogola alimwambia ati alienda kufanya nini huko. So two things that I learned. Top military officials are usually used to go to bombers to fanya hiyo kitu, I don't know, influence the results. But when Ogola was sent, Ogola kalifika huko, he didn't succeed. He confessed to being sent there. His role exactly, I don't know. But when he died, Kenyatta and Raila never showed up to his funeral. Okay, which raises some questions. So I feel like there was some kind of tension between this, even within this political class, Ruto's side and Uhuru and Raila's side. But anyway, staki kucheza hii kitu ninio, because this is kind of, it makes more sense for 2017 elections. But the emphasis is that military officials were used by the ruling regime to go influence what the count was at Ninio. go ahead before we bring Melchizedek. Go ahead, KK, if you had something to say.
Do you know who is the Minister of Defense in our country?
As of right now?
Yes.
Ni ule dem. No, yule dem ni wa ninio. Is it military or something? Dem wa nani? Dem wa
She's the one.
Saipan, Saipan.
Is a Ruto's in any side chick, right?
Yeah. Saipan, say whatever.
Yeah. So that's what whatever you unasema hapa in a connect. This is where Ruto wants mtu wake hapo. Yes. Anyway, if you don't mind, let's with Nini. We have a guest, but I would want us to play this video Nini. I sent and connect each and everything in happen.
Yes, Samuel Nyango.
Yes, all of us when you chat, watch him. You understand what is happening. Share it with other people.
Okay, sawa. Acha tusikie Melchizedek anasema nini, then we shall play that next. Melchizedek, karibu.
Sana.
Mzuri. Na bado unanitafuta.
Jana ulifanyia ile kitu haina shida.
Wewe ulitoka nikakaka hivi ninio laptop yangu ikaisha nguvu, nilikuwa nafaa kuingiza Bernard.
Mimi nilikuwa nadhani umenifanyia ile kitu, so mimi nikasema basi. Hakuna tutakutana tu. Sisi ni wale.
Haya, endelea maoni yako.
Nikisema kitu, unajua hii kitu ni connection from the bottom to from low to bottom according to my view.
Tukusikie vizuri. Get close to the microphone, please.
Oh, I'm a mute.
No, sijasema mute. Nasema karibia nini microphone. There's too much echo. Sijui kwa bathroom or something. But karibia microphone. If you can hear me.
Usiseme ati nimekufanyia hiyo kitu. Unaona feel too deeply. Mimi sina tabia za Bernard hapa.
Niko kwa room nyingine hapa, si wacha nitoke kwanza.
Okay, sawa.
Acha nitoke kwa hiyo room. Iko na echo mingi sana.
Okay. Tukupatie dakika ngapi hivi kabla kuna video tunataka kucheza?
Amanda, let's go ahead if you don't mind.
Okay, sawa. Leo mmenichemsha bongo.
Unajua hizi vitu tunaziangalia kutoka mbali. Unajua some of us Kenya inatumiwa Kenya kuharibu nini whatever is happening. We wrote those things. Right. So you can see from far.
Yeah.
That's why we have to hata kama tutapatikana wengine tutapatikana tuudhiwe, hiyo ita happen. But nchi yetu hatutakuwa slaves for life. We refuse.
So the title of your video ulikuwa unasema it was inaitwa I was deported from UK after they stole my military plane idea. There
you go.
Okay, so
perfect.
Let me play. It's a 54-minute video, so Melchizedek, ukiwa ready, you can ask me to pause it and you can give your point at pia KK. If you feel there's a part that you want to emphasize something, just let me know.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, let's see. Sina hizo ma ad blockers, so tutaifanya kienyeji.
Sawa. Nitakuonyesha hizi vitu pole tukiendelea.
And God purpose.
Ongeza volume.
Speak with somebody who has never interacted even with the word of God. For him to teach me, he had to remove me from even mainstream churches, because he didn't want me to hear these things from there and then get confused. So he's supposed to teach me himself spiritually. That time you're hearing, but you're not used to that kind of language. So I'm wondering, what is this? Am I listening? Is it depression coming in? Why am I hearing things which are contrary? I was talking to my wife in a vision, a dove came and landed on me in a vision. I was saying, can you see what is happening? Apparently it was a vision. Then a hand touched me and beckoned me, and I saw a white robe was calling me.
We are moving forward.
Yes.
Are you saying it is not yet over?
What you are saying, but is it what God has purposed? Is it? There's a lull before the storm.
There's a what?
A lull before the storm. It's God has not yet done.
Tuko family, a new day, a different story. But today's guest has different perspectives. I don't want to call them controversial perspectives, but they're different. And that is why we're inviting you to interrogate them, even as he narrates unto us. He's a man who has worked in Kenya and abroad, including with some of the best militaries in the world. Let's hear more from Engineer George Sami Onyango. These are his words and opinion, not that of Tuko. Engineer.
Yes.
Welcome to Tuko.
Thank you.
Yes, karibu sana.
Yes.
I have listened to you for some minutes and read some of your thoughts.
Yes.
First of all, let's get to know you. We know your professional background, and then we can have that conversation.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. May I start that right now in my profession, the Apex, I'm an engineer by profession. And my journey towards engineering is actually fully technical. Yes, because even the early secondary, high school, university, now it's all been technical. So I can describe my journey to have been a craftsman, I've been a technician, I've been an engineering technologist, I've been an engineer, and I'm a scientist, engineering scientist. So the hierarchy, those 5 of them, I've gone through. What it means that if you take me on a jua kali, I fit. If you take me to design, which I've done, I'll show you, I do. So my background of engineering encompasses from the basics to now the complex. Yes.
Now let's get into the story that brought us here today. What is your interpretation of what is happening in the country, and how did you come about it?
To tell you that story, first of all, I want you to believe that God speaks.
Can I say something here?
And God purposed to speak.
Rido.
Yeah.
But was going to speak with somebody
Hold on, let me pause it.
who
I want to give
never
context.
interacted, even with the word of.
Yes.
I want to give context for I'm an engineer by profession, but I want to give context to what he's talking about. Anapatiana story yake and what he saw, what he has seen. And again, I want to connect it to the West power. They knew how good he is. But on top of being that good in terms of profession, he has a power in him. This man, we need to protect him. Uta understand what I'm telling you as we go. Let's go.
Okay.
God. From the time, I think I was saying I was in my peak because everything was roaring. You know, I left NMC even after hosting the cabinet through Kibaki. They had invited to come and see what I was doing. And I think you can find them in the media. It is something that everybody was wowed. Now what happened, that level, because apart from that, there are so many things I've explained to you this one. There are several things I've done of high level. And I used to imagine it was my own knowledge that I've been given. Of course, the knowledge God has given me, but it was in the knowledge. So when I was now gearing myself to drive NMC, bang, the hammer fell. And they kicked me out with a 1-paragraph statement letter without even any reason. Apparently, that date that I left NMC, the 3rd of September 2012, was God's reference point to start the journey for changing this nation. But he had to teach me, first of all. He had to bring me to understand the significance of that date. So it's been a journey. Now God moved me from the technical to theological, biblical. And he had to teach me. For him to teach me, he had to remove me from even mainstream churches, because he didn't want me to hear these things from them and then get confused. So his purpose to teach me himself spiritually. That time I had not even bought a Bible. I didn't even have a knowledge of what was in the Bible, not even the books, because when my wife was busy going to church, me, the best I could do is to drop them and then go where? To the office until the hammer fell from God, and can be very heavy. It fell, and they gave me so many instructions what to do, to forget about anything that I've been doing, be it technical what, and sit down and read his word. That time you're hearing, but you're not used to that kind of language. So I'm wondering, what is this? Am I listening? Is it depression coming in? Why am I hearing things which are contrary to what I can? So I fought for 9 months, trying, but he made sure he closed every single thing that I could do. Even the projects that I was ongoing, because when I was in numerical, numerical got me out when I was already now running my business. When they brought me in 2008, I was already having my businesses, because railway, I was in railways before. Railways also kicked me out in the same manner. So I decided, with this knowledge I have, let me set up some practice, which was doing very well. Without me there, they could only refer to me for consultation. And without me there, it was doing so many things. You can see even this kind of buildings I have here. It is just because of my business in what I was doing. It was, but the moment I stepped in to sit there, got locked, and he showed me that without him, I can do nothing. For 9 months, I tell you, I saw disaster. Nothing was coming in, but I had to have people. I have to pay them, I have to pay rent, I have to pay. So there was only outflow, but was nothing coming in. After 9 months, I got so scared. I said, where am I heading? Even I have a family, I can see that everything is just dissipating. So I only took my documents. I didn't even close the office. I only took my legal things, the stamps, the certificates, and walked out without anybody knowing. And to date, I've never stepped there, and nobody has ever followed me. And I sat wondering, now what next? I don't even. Somebody bought me a KJV Bible. And I tried, because I was saying, sit down and read my word. But KJV Bible, the language was strange. I was wondering, now what are they? Even understanding, even where to start. So I was frustrated. I was trying to read something, but I don't even understand what is happening. So, but how God does things, he made my wife go somewhere and buy NK, which I don't think she even knows, the one I have here, and left it beside the bed, even wrapped. So one day when I was very frustrated, then I see something wrapped, and I open it.
You thought it was a gift.
Then I find this NKJV. Then I say, curiosity. I go, NKJV, that's KJV. I didn't even know about KJV and KJV. I'm just seeing this. So I decided, let me open this. Then when I opened, I found that English here, I can understand.
It's easier.
So then I asked myself, then what do I do? Then I said, the best thing, let me read like a novel. So I started even from preface. So I started reading the Bible just like a novel. But the strange thing that those days, dreams come and visions come.
I know
there's too much
theology,
story.
But that's not the point. Soon and very soon Tanzania adapt atatupatia how kila kitu happened, and I want to get but it's good to watch the whole video. Each and every part means something. Yeah, go ahead.
No, so there's a spiritual aspect into this. Ndio maana na tupatia about this Bible, how you found this Bible and all that stuff.
So anakupatia story. This time I think he was like 40. I think alikuwa UK as one of the military contractors. You know, like a CIA kind of.
Yeah.
You get the vibe.
Yep. No, okay. Got you. All right. We are going to watch the whole thing. I have all day. I don't know what you have to do with your life, but don't have a life.
I'm good. We can go until 6.
Can you go and read? I'm this particular, because my wife has not been in this for years. So I met her when she was in this. And when I read, I find similar to the dream. Then I started getting, so strange things started coming, which I encountered. Of course, there are basic things that I know, that when Jesus was baptized, a dove came from the sky and landed on him. I was talking to my wife in a vision, a dove came and landed on me in a vision. I was saying, can you see what is happening? Apparently it was a vision. She wasn't seeing what I was seeing.
Was it during the day or at night?
It was in the morning, just before I woke up. Then a hand touched me and beckoned me, and I saw a white robe was calling me. So I was thinking, now we were talking, and then I slid into mumbling but me in my mind, I knew I was continuing with the message. So when I was saying, have you seen what is happening? So she was asking, Kwani, what is wrong with you today? Kwani, you just talk and then you sleep off and then come back and ask me, I say, you have not seen that dove and you have not seen that person? Apparently it was a vision. Then he proved it, that was him. There's a kijana that comes here. There are people who can verify that. In the morning when I was going to switch off my security lights, I found a dove here. I was about to step on it. Then it flew and went behind the house. But it was with me the whole day. It only refused that nobody touch it. It joined the chicken in the shamba and the what. So my shamba boy was telling me, hey, mzee umeweka hata nini these days. But nobody could touch it. It was there, but when you go to put your hand, it goes to the tree. And when you come, it comes back. So until the chicken came in, but it was left there. So I thought, maybe let me take some maize, leave it. I put maize there, but it didn't even touch it. The following day, the same way, but the dove was never.
It went away.
It went away. So they were standing where? Here, just here. So when I was talking to this guy, I noticed that his hands had 6 fingers each, 12. But already I got in tune to the way the Spirit speaks. So telling me to go to check the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 21, verse 20. And I found somebody with 6 fingers, 6 and 6 toes each, which are total 24. But later on, I'll show you 24 is the day of messaging of God. 24 is a visitation. Because even that dove came after 24th, or that, that dove came. So 24th is a visitation sign for God. So I say, when I say, yeah, this man had 24, both 12 fingers and 12 toes.
That's in the Bible.
Yes, in the Bible. That's in the Bible. You get it, 2 Samuel, chapter 21, verse 20. You'll find that one there. Then when I see that, I know that that's a messaging. Then say, now skip now to 2 Samuel 23, verse 2. Then when I read 2 Samuel 23, verse 2, you say, the Spirit of God spoke by me, and this word was in my tongue. Which means he's giving me now that Spirit, showing me the Spirit of God will speak by you with his word in his tongue. And he has to prove that his word is the one speaking. So in all this that he's saying that he wants to talk to me, he has made sure that whatever he tells me, you can verify from the word. Yeah, so he called me and told me all the things you have been doing. I have not known the power behind me. The power behind me is divine. He's the one who has made me make all these unique things that, yes, even though the Saitoti things that I was telling you, the Chelanga one, there are some I did in UK, this one. Even my ideas were stolen when I was in UK. And there's a time we even rioted and we were thrown back just because of rioting. My idea was stolen by British Rail, yes, and was thrown back like deportation. My story of this starts way back in 1993. I'd been sent for a training in Turkey. Even before I tell you that Turkey, I want to tell you one thing. In Turkey, all the new beginnings put in the Bible started in the present day Turkey. During Noah's time, the ark rested on Mount Ararat. Mount Ararat is in Turkey, isn't it? Abraham moved from Ur the Chaldeans and went to Haran. Haran is the present day what? Turkey. The first Christian church, Antioch is in present day what? Turkey. The home place of Saul, which is Sicilia, is in present day Turkey. The 7 churches mentioned in Revelation in present day what? Turkey. When Abraham, so when Jacob went to marry, he was sent to where? To Haran. Yes, where there was who? The Leah and what? And even Isaac went to Haran. So all those meaning of new beginnings are in present day Turkey. So I got a message in 1993 about this, but since I didn't know anything about the Bible, whatnot, the message came to me and I dismissed the person because the message was big. And how did it come about? I had been on an industrialization program under UNIDO. So when I was addressing the gathering, I was challenging UNIDO that this thing you have given us, we stand the of losing this knowledge without going to industrialize our nations, because you've taken the people in the lower, and this one requires to be given to the people who are decision makers. So I was telling them, if you could organize such a similar thing, but then you give it even in a moderated language to the people who make, because this thing is able to change any nation. Nations like there were one year, because there were many nations we are attending. You see, you know where the story of Vietnam is now. Vietnam is somewhere else. All the nations that we had in Asia, there were very many nations from Asia. Africa, we were 5 countries. So I was challenging them to organize a similar thing so that our people here can also listen to us. Because at that level, even when I came to talk to anybody, nobody would want to listen to me. But he gave me a message that in my time, it was a major thing. I dismissed him. That's why I looked at it. I said, but I thought, now I understood. I thought because when he was in a hotel and I saw somebody coming, I thought was coming to give me water. And when he passed, he whispered the message in my ear.
And that, what was the message?
No, he whispered a message. This message is exactly as in Daniel chapter 10. And you'll come to see that even when the elections were done, you know, Greece and what it was based on that, I'll, maybe when you reach there, you'll see. The person gave me a message. But I was in Turkey on 24th, that's when I arrived in Turkey. But if you read Daniel chapter 10, verse 4, you'll see on the 24th day, Daniel was beside River Tigris, isn't it? River Tigris source comes from where? From Turkey. I was where? In Turkey, next to Marmara Sea, which joins there. Then a message came to me. Daniel had a message. But then the person, the angel who brought the message said I was coming, but the Prince of Persia held me for 21 days. I could not reach you. 1993 to when my case was decided in 2014, so what? 21 years. So everything was just coming according to that. Then I also received a message, but a message for this. It was going to take time to come. It took 21 years and it came. That's when it started. In there, according to Daniel 10.
Are you following? Are you following?
In the Bible, if you look at the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 22, you'll find when Peter was speaking, say that Jesus Christ, he was telling, was attested to you by God through.
Don't let Kamala Harris fool you. Harris not only supports taxing service workers' tips, news reports can.
Signs, wonders and miracles, which God did through him, not just.
Yes, go ahead, KK.
No, go ahead. You need to get the, I will show you how to do the ad block stuff. But go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Jesus Christ did, which God did through him. And for him to attest them, he had to use signs, wonders, and miracles. So he has used the sign of numbers in the Bible to be directing me what is happening in this nation. So now he talks to me, but using the word and the science, which is touching on this. An example which you are maybe I'll let see later, because you'll see how those ones comes in. I told you the cabinet was, this one was announced on 19th. They took 20 people to parliament for the rejected one. They came out 19, isn't it? You go back, the what you call the national mourning for the departed late general was 19th, isn't it? They gave him how many gun salute? 19, isn't it? The related one in Iran, I told you where Iran had been there. The reason why I was in Iran, I'll show you. Iranian president died on which day? 19.
Hey. Oh God, wait a minute. He's messing with my head right now. He's messing with my head.
Nakwambia, we need to share this so watu wajue. Huyu jamaa, this guy is the math genius. Unajua kuna level of engineering where you become an numerical something, numbers.
Numerology, that's what they call it when they kind of.
This is who he is. He's a genius. And I hope we respect and give him love while we have him, man. What? You'll be amazed.
We are here. Karibu Ani na kuona hapo kwa nini. Sorry, people on the chat, I haven't, kind of shouted you guys out, but I will. Melchizedek, sorry, najua ulikuwa kwa room fulani, ulikuwa huwezi kuongea. Uko sawa sasa?
Yeah, niko sawa.
Ulikuwa na kitu ya kusema kabla tujaendelea na hii video?
Yeah, nilikuwa nataka kusema kitu, but due to kitu yenye imenishika, nimetoka huko nikae hapa dakika kama 2 peke yake.
Sasa tunachambua hii video na itachukua muda, so that's why nilikuwa nataka ukitaka kufungua roho ufungue roho, maana hii video itakuwa it's kind of lengthy, so
Nilishafungua jana.
Sasa unaona wewe ulikimbia alafu unasema ati nilikufanyia hiyo kitu. Mimi sifanyii kitu mtu. Hapa ni kufungua.
Mimi nilikuwa nimeingia na simu ikaingia, kulikuwa na emergency.
Okay.
So actually na deal na vitu zenye zinakuanga sensitive sana. Penye nafanya kazi. So anytime simu inaweza ingia. That's why sometimes unaweza ona niingie na nitoke mbio.
Okay. Sawa.
Hakuna shida.
Sasa naona tuko na engineer hapa. Keke ulisema wewe pia ni engineer?
Yes, I am.
So wewe ni engineer, Melchizedek ni engineer na mtu tunasikia ni engineer. Mimi ndio si engineer hapa. Mimi ni fake. Iko na ile engineer ya Raila, niwachane na nyinyi.
No. You do not have to have the papers. You just need to know what to view things in life.
Engineer wa waya kama ya Oscar Sudi.
That's how you no serious.
Acha nimwambie KK. Being an engineer does not mean that you have a papers. What do you have in your mind?
There you go.
What can you do? What can you do? Unaona?
Yeah.
So even if you go for a degree, but you don't have those qualification, we have what is called the experience. If you doesn't have the experience on how to even to run the machine, then you are going to for nothing.
Yes. No, if you can visualize it, you can build it. If you can visualize it, you can build it. That's what I mean.
So it's not a matter of going to school. People are going to school to become engineers, fake engineers. But some people are going to school to be engineers. No.
Haya, sawa. Wacha turudi sorry, ulikuwa unasema?
Wacha nimalize tu. Si umesema nitapike roho. Kwani wewe ni nini wewe? Mimi sio.
Haya. Haya, mcheze kitapika roho basi.
People think that you're speaking fluent English, you can talk, you can say anything, that now you become an engineer, now you speak like someone, now you say, I'm an engineer by profession, yet your mind doesn't have anything.
That's true.
Anyway, that one is not our topic of today. We were talking about the military and the government and how these people are doing tampered with our election, which is true, because I can vividly remember when these things happened. First time it's happened, the second time it's happened, but the result is coming out very awkward, which means these people, they are just there to make people to feel that they are there, they are present, but they don't know what is taking place. Maybe they went there to ask for a position, or they are going there to do something which is not necessary to do, because we have the how do we call it, a body that deals with the election, that they are supposed to given that opportunity to give the correct and a very clear record who won and who failed. But this thing not happening, they are just doing it how tulikuwa tumewekewa bunduki mpaka kwa kichwa, such kind of things. These are nice because we have the cameras that were mulika kila mahali, so someone can come with a narrative that I was given this postmortem that if I don't, then this thing will happen. This thing they have already given their own part of portion, so they are put in their pocket. So they are coming up with their different things, which makes people to suffer the way we are suffering, because they are the bodies that they are supposed to protect, and make sure that everything that is taking place is in order. But they don't do that. They came and take money. Then they said, now we are the people that were trying to help. Yet they are trying to ruin. Yeah. So the election in Kenya, my brother, if we are not careful, I'm just saying it openly that if we are not careful, we will be in the mess until end of this, and Jesus come back. Because we have not seen the secret part of this thing. Totally. No one have seen it. But I used to say that my dad gave me a name Melchizedek, which means the king that disappeared from anywhere, nowhere. No one understand where he was. And I'm the one who is talking. If I say something, but people doesn't, I'm not bragging, neither I'm not boasting. But I'm saying the fact. When I started with the Bernard, I told them one thing, that if we are not careful, we will continue talking here, but we will not bear any fruit. And we are still doing the same thing. There, when you go there, they are talking about the only individual, the so-called broad-based government. And they are not doing anything. I ask them, for how long will we talk and there is no action? And they told me that the Rome is not built in a one day. Rome can be built in a one day if people are serious. Kenya is a Kenya. Whether we go to school, whether you don't go to school, you will still seem like nobody. Because we have seen everything that is taking place. Where I'm working, nimepewa hiyo. Hata ukiniona ni vile nafanya kazi, nimependwa. Ile roho yenye mtu anasema, huyu anafanya kazi yake, enda Kenya. Kazi yenye nafanya hapa, ukienda nayo Kenya, mtu aenda nilipe pesa inalipwa. Kwa sababu gani? Wamedharau wale ambayo hawakufanya degrees na wanasema ya kwamba wao ndio wafanye kazi. Kwa sababu saa zingine hauna papers vizuri ambao ukisimama mbele ya watu unasema mimi I'm a degree holder, so I have to know how to fix this socket. Unaona? And this thing has made us to brag behind. We have everything in Kenya, everything. Kama ni chakula tuko nayo, kama ni rivers tuko nayo. Everything that we have can help Kenya to be Kenya. But the government and the leaders and everybody that are in, they are there to eat today, but they don't think tomorrow. This is the thing. We can brag, we can do anything that I have. I'm an engineer, I am a doctor, I am a physician, whatever. But we are not doing the same thing that we are talking. How many degrees does this guy have? Babu Owino, for example. He's doing nothing with that degree. He's there to brag and say, me. Now I have to be called a doctor. Doctor, my foot. When it comes in terms of action, there is nothing. So we better think on how we can make Kenya to be Kenya when we are sober. We don't need to talk when we take something weed. Mtu anachukua weed alafu anakuja anasimama karibu na juu ya gari anasema mimi nimetenga. Unaona? We need to be sober before we do anything. Nendeni China, mulete pesa, muweke kwa akaunti yenu, alafu museme kesho tunatenga hii barabara, alafu mwaka ishe tunarudia tena. But mimi nilisema mtu yoyote Mkenya ambayo next time amesimama ati amepigia Ruto kura, huyo jamaa haifai kukue Kenya. This is the fact, man. You can see what is taking place. Then you are a man or a woman or agency or whatever, ati unaenda umeweka laini, ati unampigia mtu ambaye amekunyanyasa vizuri, amekutenga mpaka ako karibu kutenga hata bibi yake. Kama mjajui next time atatenga bibi yake, unaona.
Captain ako wapi kuadili na wewe?
Na hii jina ubadilishe. Hii unajua hata sieni ya kuongelesha hii jina juu hii sieni kaisoma.
Melchizedek.
Hii jina tengeneza, bro. I can't even call you. I want to talk to you, but I can't.
Melchi.
MD. MM. I got MM.
You can call me MM, no problem. I'm okay with that.
Kenyan Nasema is very real and painful. When you think about it from a bigger view, you can see where everything is not working. You understand what's not right. And part of what you need to help is a part of the problem. Anyway, probably could interrupt, but I just wanted to say it. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. You have a speech of you have a freedom of speech. You can even cut me short.
Nani alisema hivi, anaitwa nani yule Ugandan president alitolewa, anaitwaje, Idi Amin, ati freedom of speech is free, but what happens after that? he cannot guarantee freedom after that. Ushaona hiyo quote?
Yes, of course. Ni ukweli. We have a freedom of speech, but nothing is taking place. How many times have we talked about Ruto must go, and they're still working? That is free. So we have the freedom of speech, but nothing is happening.
Yeah, but unajua kuna vitu ambayo hata we are scattered, so kuna watu ambao wanawaka huko behind the scenes, kuna watu ambao tunaona wanapiga makelele kwa TV, kuna watu ambao ni kama sisi tunaongea hapa, so it's not like tunaongea in vain. There are some people who are actually trying things to remove him. We might not be aware of everything that's happening or what everyone is doing towards removing Ruto. So I won't say that what we are doing is in vain, ati tunaongea na otoki. I think there are people who are seriously working towards removing him, to be fair.
MM and Ribo.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me say something because I'm leaving.
Okay.
I'm just nitasikia kwa background kwa sababu kuna kitu nafanya.
Okay.
In my conclusion, naweza sema hivi. It's better we talk. We bring ideas. But kuna kitu inaitwa tunasemanga limit. Unaona? Kuna place ikifika, hata wewe familia yako, hata baba hata mama ama watoto ama wewe ndio baba nini, kuna limit ikifika kwa hiyo nyumba, you cannot do anything. It's either itoke ama ikae hivyo. Unaona? And the limitation that we have now with the Ruto and his government, we don't have limit. Sometimes we can say that we have a limit for everything, but maneno ya Ruto na government yake, if people have the limit, hatutawezana nayo. We should say that there is no giving up until this government go down. Because if we leave this government, I'm telling you now, if we leave this government until 2026. Yes.
I would like to interrupt you and encourage you to watch what we're talking about. And I want you to understand what is happening. From a high level, as an engineer, you know it. High level, this is what is happening. Usijam, watch it, and everybody, watch it. You understand what is happening. Because I knew you are very frustrated. Hata mimi, I cannot be building najenga niyo. Na kwetu tunaibiwa. Whatever we're building New York with, tumeibiwa kwetu. I will not. Why would I allow that? So the context, we are watching whatever you're talking about, but this is what is happening back home. This is one of us, one who is maybe way smarter than us anyways, but that's what he's explaining, if you don't mind.
Okay. Let me withdraw my words, but inside.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Okay. I will never give up. I'm a man who doesn't give up in life.
There you go.
Yeah. Wacha niseme hivi. Let us just do something about it, even if it will take us centuries. Or inaitwa aje? Wale ambao wameenda shule, mimi sijaenda shule. Mimi nilikuwa nimetoka Ghana.
Ulikula fees.
Mwalimu wangu wa Kisungu alikufa kama alikuwa class 2. So tunasema provided I bring something on the table. Kisungu haikulipi.
Haya. Wacha tuingilie kwa video basi. Tuendelee na video. Video ilikuwa nasema things were happening on the 19th. That was where we left it at. Tuendelee. Haya, mutege masikio vijana. Hii ni tuko klasini sasa.
Our head of state left for US when 19th, isn't it? I know I'll show you many of them. In the Bible, in the book of Jeremiah 52, Jerusalem was besieged by Nebuchadnezzar for how many weeks? From the 10th month in the 9th year to the 4th month of the 11th year. There were 19 months. In March, when you started having issues here, KKM government had been in power for how long? 19. Nebuchadnezzar was what year? Was after the throne? We'll find that in Jeremiah 52, 19. So there's a reason why God is using that 19 for this nation. And that's why Quebec was also given 19 gun salute. I told you Quebec's transition was 22. There's a reason when you go and now see how God is using those to communicate the events which are taking place in this nation. But now, there's an issue. Because one of the things that I think we talked about is to know this eruption of the Gen Zs. Yes? I think last December, let's see, I'll show you the photo. I was clearing some grass behind. My daughter has a phobia of snakes. But then she found me swatting a spider with the one which carries a white thing on the tail. So when she came, she halted and said, "Hey, Daddy, I hope it's not the things I hate. I fear." I said, "No, it's a spider I'm swatting." So I swatted and she wanted a key to open something. So I gave her the key. When she turned and she entered the house, immediately that place there was a what? The same snake. She had also been fearing a what? Snake. So there was a snake. I didn't even move. So I also killed it. But because she fears snakes, I took it and put on top of the incinerator that I'll bury it maybe or throw it later. But I forgot when I finished. So the following morning when I was waking up, normally switching off security lights, I find just this normal snake, the slag, the white one. I find one just where I'm just open the bolt of the back gate to the chamber. Then when I say, I want you to count the snails as you walk. That was the first one. Then I found this, not a very long distance, maybe you'll see, a very short one. So I found the 7th snail on top of the incinerator where the snake was. But the snake had been eaten and I found the snail eating it, which is a miracle because snails don't eat meat. So they eat flowers or what. But then this one, so that is what caught my attention. And the photo is there, you'll see. It's been eaten until there's only the bones are sticking. But there's a way God said that when he tells me something, he uses nature. God uses nature to communicate. Then I was asking God, then what is the purpose for this? Then he told me, the meek shall devour the strong. Because the snail is what? Is meek. And the snake is what? strong. And this one, the meek, was devouring what? The snake. So in the small church I go to in January, they asked me to give a sermon. And I told them, this year, the meek shall devour the strong. The Gen Zs shall devour what? And you've seen. And still, all these are here. You'll verify. You'll verify when you want. All what I'm telling you, all of it.
But at that time, you did not understand where the strong, who were the
what
strong.
I knew that I don't know
and who was the meek.
No, I was just told the meek in this nation shall devour who.
And were you told the timeline? So
no, I just told this year. There's something I
that
can
was
tell
in?
you. There's something I tell you that God's word does not fail.
That was in beginning of the year.
That was the snail was in December. You'll show the date, even the date you'll see. And then beginning of the year, I was the first day, second day. After New Year, the pastor asked me to
give a sermon.
Yes, and that's what I gave them.
So
that this year God says that the meek
will devour
the strong.
The strong.
Yes, that was the snake being devoured by what?
By the snail.
By the snail. Yes.
So when there was this eruption of the Gen Zs, what was your first reaction?
I remember that day I was sitting there. I don't know whether you know Jimmy Wanjigi. And I was telling me this thing will happen suddenly. The same day, I was seated with him in his place. It will erupt the same day it erupted. When I was telling him, it's a message of what is now. You see the foundation of many things happening. It's based on what? On that. It is not anybody's doing. It is divine hand. And I told you, God's visitation is what? 2024, isn't it? Yes. The one that I'll tell you.
And we are in the year 2024.
We are in 2024. So Ben Hinn came here 2024 on 24th. And he mentioned something that the spiritual warfare is what? And if you see in the Bible, I know maybe he does not know about those numbers because those are the signs I've been given to see.
Yo, those are nice.
Lord.
Hold on one second.
Candace, what's up? I think my daughter's going pro at basketball.
She's 3.
Yeah, she's 3. What's your point?
Now I enter the ark at 600 years, isn't it? There's some spiritual. I'll tell you the spiritual about it. When the people are leaving Israel, Pharaoh chased them with 600 special chariots and other chariots. The people are leaving Egypt rather, was 600,000 strong people with armored, isn't it? When David killed Goliath, the iron head of the spear that Goliath had was 600 shekels. David had 600 what? Soldiers, even when he was using Keilah. When Saul was numbering people, he had what? 600 what? So 600 has a special connotation at the beginning. And on the 4th March of this year, 4th March, I was exactly 600 weeks from the time I left. That's why that number I told you, 3rd of September, 2012. It's the reference of all what God is doing. This book here, he made me to record every single from 2012, from September. Every recording is here. You'll find that I'd hit 600. And you saw the rains come. This rain that devastated the nation. You know the rains?
At a time when we should not be having rain.
Yes, in May and what? This one kept pulling down what? You even see my wall, they're down, isn't it? It's in the hand of the divine. It is not in the hand of man. What is happening in the nation is in the hand of God. And it is what God has purposed that's going to come. So
and engineer. So I think the people who study numbers, are they called numerologists?
The numerology, yes. Yes.
It is not what you are doing to these numbers.
No, me I didn't study, me I've been given. I've been given when I read here. And you'll allow me to take you through one so that you know that I'm not telling you. I want to take you one of the 17. This 17, number 17. And you know number 17 is a foundation.
In the Bible.
Yeah, in the Bible and even in this nation. You remember the elections that were nullified in each year?
2017.
It was done 8th of August 2017, isn't it? If you look at the book of Matthew, chapter 27, from 6 to 9 is the story, but verse 9. He says that the one who betrayed Jesus, Judas, threw down the 30 pieces of silver. The price of the value of who betrayed. Those 30 pieces was the value of him who was betrayed. 30 pieces of silver, you can also take 10 shilling pieces. If you take 10 of them, the value is 100 shillings, isn't it? So what is the value of these 30 pieces of silver? And it tells you that to confirm what Jeremiah spoke in Jeremiah 32, verse 6 to 9. That's where the value of those 30 pieces of silver, which is the value of him who was betrayed, which is the value of Christ is. Yes? So the value of Christ is pegged at what? At 17, isn't it? According to that. So when you read that, you'll find that in Matthew 27, verse 9, it is the value of him who was betrayed, those 30 pieces of silver, and then come and read Jeremiah and find out how much did he weigh to buy the land that was saying that was being bought. He weighed 17 shekels of silver and paid, which means the value of 30 pieces of silver is 17. But then how does God confirm that that's the value of deliverance? Because the value of it is deliverance. 17 is meant to deliver. That's why when they nullified 2017 elections, God decided the journey of deliverance of nation of Kenya. It's a journey. God's thing doesn't happen. It happens, it's a process. So the journey of deliverance started from 2017.
Nullification of the election.
Of 8-8. Yes? Which now here, 99 also. After 7 years, if you count 18 to nearly 7 years, because anything God has a hand on must bear 7. Must. That is when you show that it is him. Because in Revelation, if you read the office of God, in Revelation chapter 4, verse 5, it will tell you the 7 lamps of fire are burning before the throne, which are the 7 spirits of who? Of God. The Passover was in Egypt, isn't it?
Yes.
In Exodus chapter 12, from verse 1, he said, this year marks the beginning of your year and the beginning of the month. On the 10th day of this month, everyone shall pick a what? A lamb for slaughter. And you slaughter after 4 days to inspect it, and on the 14th day, it was done what? It was slaughtered, isn't it? And the blood put on the what?
On the doorpost.
And that's why we celebrate the Passover on what? That Easter, isn't it? Because the blood of Christ is going to be on the what? On the cross. That's why we celebrate. The blood that was put on the doorpost is that blood Jesus shed on what? On the cross. On the cross. And then Jesus was on the grave how many days?
3 days.
So 3 days from the fast to the past resurrection is how many days? 17, isn't it? Because he was crucified on the 14th of the first Hebrew month. And they resurrected 3 days later, which is the 17th day. Which means Jesus resurrected on the 17th day of the first Hebrew month, symbolizing deliverance for mankind. You understand that?
I understand that.
And now, how does God apply it?
In Kenya.
No, first of all, to confirm in the Bible. In the book of Genesis, chapter 7, verse 11, you'll find that the reigns of Noah started on the 17th day of the second month. And the ark rested on Mount Ararat on the 17th day of the what? Seventh month. Isn't it? You see 17 for the deliverance of Noah. Joseph, in Genesis chapter 37, verse 2. Joseph was 17 years when he was sold by the brothers to be sent where? To Egypt, isn't it? To prepare a way for what? Delivering who? Them when there was what?
There was drought.
Drought. And when he brought the father to go to Egypt, the father stayed there 17 years, isn't it? So 17 is the hand of deliverance of God. But he combined this in the waterstone, the 17, and he puts his hand of what? Of 7. So 17 juxtaposed with 7 is the deliverance by the hand of God. And that's why, if you remember the first High Court, BBI was put down on 17 grounds in the High Court, the Supreme Court, 7. Isn't it? Did you see that? That's why it fell.
It's so mind-boggling.
17 and what?
And 7.
And 7. Our departed general was sworn in on 29th of April, isn't it? 29th of April is 119 days of the year. What are the factors of 119? 17 by what? By 7. 17 times 7 is what? Is that. Then Kibochi was pulled out of the DOD, the way they pulled them out. On the 5th of May, 2020, it was 2023, add the digits there, 5510. 2023 is 17. You see, God does not, his words are going according to what? So it was purposed. And I'll tell you that one we'll see later, how this one came in. But it's all in the journey of the deliverance of this nation. So 17 It's a mark for deliverance for this nation. God already started the journey on 2017. But he started the journey on who? The election of 2013. When did they come in? 2013, isn't it? 2013 to 2024. Is it 11 years?
11 years.
In Jeremiah 52, when Jerusalem fell, Zedekiah ruled for how many years? 11 years. 11 years. That's why things are happening.
That is why it is happening after 11 years.
11 years. That's why it's happening in 11 years. Because everything's pegged on that. You know, the deliverance, a new beginning, is pegged on the book of Genesis 5:2-9, dealing with Noah. And that's why the rains had to come. I was going to tell you why the rains came. The date I left Turkey, remind me to show you, because all those things that I have evidence. It was 17th of 7th month.
17th of July.
17th of July. Which is the date they are rested on what? On Mount what? On Mount Ararat.
There's some of the areas where I'm seeing lines. My forehead lines, I got crow's feet right here, my frown lines.
Rebel, what's your opinion so far?
Then on the 10th month, on the first day of the month,
what's your opinion so far?
Mountains were seen.
Hold on.
Isn't it? But after 40 days.
Very interesting. I'm hooked on. I can't stop. I have to listen more. This is just, and I'll probably rewatch it again to like read those Bible passages. And yes, but it's very interesting. Based, yes, I am. It's riveting. I like it so far. So yeah,
it's getting way better now. Now he's gonna explain our past and connect it to where we're going.
Okay.
Factual. Let's go.
All right.
Days, the floods receded, and Noah opened the window and checked. And they sent out a raven, and they sent out a what? A dove. On the 40th day. Isn't it? And that day, it came back. He waited for 7 days, which is 47th day. He sent out a dove again, and it came back carrying an olive what? Leaf in the beak. He came back, he took it in. Then he sent out 7 days, which is 50 what? 54, isn't it? And the dove never came back, which means the earth was what? Was dry. So why 54? Count with me. Jesus was arrested the night before crucifixion, isn't it? 1 day. He was in the grave for how many days? 3 days. Total from the time he was arrested is what? And you have to mark that he has told the disciples that you will be, the shepherds shall be struck and you will be scattered. But I'll not leave you orphans, I'll come back to what? To you, isn't it? So after resurrection, it's 4 days from arrest, when the sheep scattered. Yes, isn't it? Then he was on earth for 40 days. In Acts 1, you'll find that. 40 days, which means it's 44 from the time he was arrested. And he told him, tarry until you are endowed with the power. Do not leave what? Jerusalem, isn't it? And Pente is 50 days from the resurrection. But you have 4 days the other side. So on the Pentecost day, the Spirit came, isn't it? And on. From the 4, when they scattered, it was 50 what? So the 54 is a sign of what? The Spirit what? Coming. 54, when the Spirit was hovering over the waters, or that, and then the dry land came. 40 days, 7 is 50 what? Is the Spirit of God that was doing what? And I was in Turkey from 24th to 17th, as 54 days, isn't it? And when I left the numerical of the third, in 2012, I was 54 years. When the elections were nullified, that time the president had won with 54%, isn't it? The nation Kenya in Africa is 54th nation. I think that one was for NASA.
54th nation or
54 nations in Africa. 54 where the thing was done, isn't it? 54 nations in Africa.
Okay.
The people who are complaining then, it's called NASA. From the time I left, if you count, to the time that they took the petition was 54 weeks of a month, but I have it here, 54. So it shows that this is by the hand of the presence of the God, why it is what is coming. And it was 35% for all nations, 35 nations, counties rather, who had passed 25%. You'll see all those are, I think, recorded. And I told you I was in Turkey when I was 35. The case was 35 number. Those 35s, all 35s, isn't it? And the people who voted were 8 me. How many people left the ark? 8. 8. Blessed new beginning for the delivered nation of Kenya. That is 8/8/17. And if you go back, you'll find that people tried to change that date to 17th. They could not, because it was not their hand. It was the hand of who? Of God. So 17 is a hand of deliverance for God. And this nation is marked by that from 2017, which has to come in God's way.
So it is, we are not yet done, because
no, God has not yet reached what he wants to do. That one I think can only understand when I now go back from theology to technical, because he has also taken me that line. Massive.
Hold
so
there.
I want to go there because it is.
We need to understand something.
Yes.
As at now, the revolution has slowed down.
People are
there was
saying,
the revolution, and then there was the dismissal of the cabinet,
yes.
New appointees.
Yes.
So now it's a broad-based government. We are moving forward.
Yes.
Are you saying it is not yet over?
What you are saying, but is it what God has purposed? Is it? There's a lull before the storm.
There's a what?
A lull before the storm. It's God has not yet done. It's not. You cannot say Numbers 23:19.
So there's a storm coming. That's what I want.
Yes.
That's what I want to get from.
I'll show you. There's something people talk about much here. I want you to understand it. You hear people talk about, I don't know, the military will step in and what. Have you heard that talk?
Yes.
Now, in 2018, yes, in December 12, there was a 17th battalion, which is given to Pingo colors, isn't it? And was taken to Garissa. Who was then the Air Force commander?
Ogola. General, back then was Lieutenant General Ogola.
Yes. I'd got some work to do a bit at Isili, which was ending on 17th of December. The letter is here, you can see. But that date was given to me as a sign. The battalion that was taken to Garissa, originally they say it was coming from where? Nyali, in Mombasa. To confirm that, 3 people called me from Nyali, different people, but I knew all of them used to stay in Nyali, the ones who called me. Then I was wondering, then when I heard that they were based in Nyali and I'd just gotten some calls from these people, then I related about that 17. So I became keen about the 17 that was taken to Garissa. The elections were on when? 9th of August, isn't it? From 13th, the first day of that 17th battalion, in when they're doing Tupingo colors, to 9th of August 2022 is 1,335 days. What does Daniel 12 say? Blessed is he who waits and comes to 1,335 days. You want to read?
Yes, please. You said Daniel what?
Daniel 12:12. Blessed is he who waits and comes to 1,335 days.
Daniel 12:12. Blessed is he who waits and comes to 1,335 days.
Dead on. And before you cover there, this wars here, they were based on Grecian. They was from actually what it is, Daniel chapter 10 to Daniel
Prophecy
chapter
of the end time.
Yes, yes. It's scarce if you read there. Daniel chapter 10, Daniel chapter 11, and Daniel chapter 12 is one story broken into 3. 10 is introduction, where Daniel was. 11 is the story. 12 is the conclusion. That's at 12, blessed is he who waits and comes to 1,035 days.
So
at Daniel chapter 12, verse 1 says, and the prince shall stand in the gap. There's a prince who is coming in the gap, who have come to 1,335 days. Is it battalion? Can you see? Can you see number?
Interpret that, yes. But I want to understand that from the election day, 2022, 9th of August, 2022, to the trooping of colors of the 17th Battalion is 1,335
days. You see, you go, in fact, go count yourself, because I've tabulated them. Just count. You'll find it's exactly 1,335 days. And it was dealing with what? Grecian what?
You know what you're talking about is scary. I just felt scared.
Hey, you take it. The Grecian war is Greece, isn't it? Who printed our ballot papers? Greece, isn't it? Were there issues? There are people who are caught at the airport with stickers. How many stickers were there? 17. Did you read that? All those are in the media. You can go and verify. Then a report was done by the DCI, which I believe was taken as an evidence by those who took the matter to court. And that report with the DCI were 7 issues of 17 pages of 17 stickers. That's God speaking. I told you that I'm going to tell you what God is saying according to the science He has given to define what is happening in this nation, Kenya, and what is coming to do. He has not yet done.
Engineer, are you not scared of the things that you're saying, seeing what is happening?
I'm saying what the Bible. I told you that one thing I want you to see. The 2 Samuel 23 verse, just read it. 2 Samuel 23 verse 2 says what? The Spirit of the Lord spoke by me, and His word was in what? In my tongue. I'm not the one speaking. He has given me the signs so that to confirm what He's saying. And the signs are where? Here. It is His sign to verify what He's saying.
What is your discipline then? Engineering is quite wide.
Yes, engineering is quite wide. Basic foundation is mechanical engineering. But I've also done materials engineering at postgraduate, which encompasses production, material preparation, selections for even high complex things. And in the process of even doing those things, I think I've done one of the most complex things in the world now, which affects the aviation industry in a major way. I don't know whether you know the issue of Desert Storm, the time that there was this war of Kuwait, when Iraq attacked Kuwait. I was then in the UK. There was a problem with they call them British Tornado jets that were carrying missiles for bombing. Those missiles were guided by laser beams, but the accuracy of laser beam is maintained when they're on cryogenic. Cryogenic is very cold, negative 100, 200 degrees centigrade is when they maintain the accuracy, which was then being supplied by liquid oxygen. Liquid oxygen is very cold, I think minus 189 degrees centigrade. But then they were carrying oxygen on cylinders on board. So when oxygen runs out, you lose the accuracy of a missile. So you can't send the missile. You can't launch it. So you have to come back and take more cylinders and go for the mission. So the mission became cumbersome and expensive. Then somebody, Doughty Weapon Systems of England, thought of an OBOG system. OBOG is on-board oxygen generation system. So that continuous oxygen generation to maintain the accuracy of the missile through the laser beam. But then everything burns in oxygen. And in aviation, you don't want anything related to fire. So the material for making this pump by Doughty Weapon Systems was a real problem. And they were looking for it. So Doughty Weapon Systems, together with the NASA of US, approached the university where I was. But then the project landed on me. And I can proudly tell you, this book, red book you're seeing here, that material that I came up with in material selection for making the pump, which generates pure oxygen on board of both commercial and the military aircrafts.
In the United Kingdom.
In the United Kingdom. Yes. It is of the kind. And if now I'll show you, it's quoted as if you want to make, use that material. It is in this book here.
I told you, you paused it. So
Time out.
What he's doing?
Hold on. Let me take a 2-second bathroom break. I'm coming back. This man is something.
It's good.
Hold
It's
on.
good,
Hold.
right?
It is good. Hold on for a minute.
So in short, wala tunasikiza, this is what this guy is doing. he's sharing the CIA's, you hear what you hear, top secret on anything. Aviation, there's top secret, engineering, all that stuff. Human, there's top secret, how to manipulate people. Now he's just sharing the top military secret now as he talks, because he's at home. And this is what we should be doing, sharing with our people as we wait for Rebo to come back.
I'm back. Hold on. All right. Where are we? So this guy, this project landed on his lap in that university where he developed a pump that will sustain oxygen on commercial air flights and military aircraft. Okay.
And this, my friend,
yes,
this has a connection with Kenya as well. And when you are like, wow, it connects, everything connects. Let's go. Let's go ahead.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
I'm the one who came up with it in 1990, 91.
Most of us.
Yes.
If I'm not wrong.
I believe so.
The millennials.
Yes.
So Gen Zs have come much later after your, can we call it invention? After your invention, a discovery.
Yes.
In that background, two things have happened in your lifetime.
Yes.
Number one, the cabinet back then was the Minister for Internal Security, Professor George Saitoti, came down in a chopper.
Yes.
This year, the Chief of Defense Forces came down in a chopper.
Yes.
What do you have to say about that?
First of all, Saitoti died on 10th of June. The aircraft was airborne for 10 minutes. You'll see that.
Yes.
When he died, they had given Parliament a promise within 10 days was going to release the names of those who were involved in what? In those drug
trafficking.
Isn't it? And then it was 10th anniversary. 10. But I would want you to listen to that first of all and hear how God reveals his things. Because these are now in the public domain. Yes? I did the investigation. I think you saw the clip by KTN. But mostly on the gearbox.
Yes.
Yeah? On that gearbox, there are issues. Was there some fire or not? One thing, and then if you mention here that they are saying things of the hydrocarbon poisoning, even for Luke or Yugi or whatever, who are there, hydrocarbon poisoning, carbon dioxide, not hydrocarbon, carbon dioxide poisoning. But where does carbon dioxide come in? The aircraft, hydraulic oil or anything happen in aircraft, normally fire stabilized so that they don't combust because failure. So they are normally given additives to stabilize them against what?
They usually burst.
Yeah?
But they usually burst.
Of course, but they are supposed to retard. Yes? Retard. Oh no, the body burns when it peaks, but those issues like the oil and what is supposed to be stabilized with that. So when you attempt to burn anything hydrocarbon, you get hydrogen products, H2O, because oxygen in the air will mix with the hydrogen, hydrocarbon, to get moisture. That's why you see when you start a car, you can see steam at the exhaust, isn't it? And the carbon dioxide. The carbon there mixes with the air also, with oxygen also to get carbon dioxide. But in complete combustion will yield carbon monoxide.
Okay.
Isn't it? So there was carbon monoxide poisoning on them. Now, how do you say that there was? First of all, there's an expose that was done by John Allen Namu, with the one in South Africa. There's some pattern he produced when the aircraft started having problems. It like he drew letter 8 in the sky. I think he picked it from the civil aviation. It was in he put it there. That means the aircraft lost control, isn't it? There, so it was moving in a zigzag. What stabilizes the helicopter up? When the rotor is going up, rotating, there's a tail rotor, isn't it? For stability. In the event that maybe tail rotor fails and this one is still running, because this one is directly also connected, yes, rotating, isn't it? It rotates, and in the event that something happens and you cannot control the flaps, the blades, because it's the direction of those blades that determines whether it's going up front or in the yes. So if you interfere with that, even if they rotate, it will be like a stone rotating in the sky, isn't it? And so when this thing formed that pattern of like S, it means that there was no control. So what controls them? The hydraulic power on those, because those things heavy, you cannot control by hand. So you use a hydraulic power system to control the levers to change the rotor directions for operation. So when a hydraulic system fails, what happens? That kind of thing, isn't it? Now it is this hydraulic failure that are the steps that failed, but how did it fail? From the engine to the gearbox is formed this, what you call a propeller shaft. There's a shaft transmitting power there. From this propeller shaft is tapped with a belt.
This is where he's explaining the cause of Saitoti's plane issue.
Aircraft.
What's that?
Nasema, this is where he explains the cause of Saitoti's mice. And it's factual, and you can verify if you. But let's go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hey, this is better than a movie. Instead of next feel and chill, majamaa, hii ndio mnafaa mweke huko, muacheni na mambo. Haya, tuendelee. I like this. Thanks for the hookup for this.
A belt running a water hydraulic pump. The hydraulic pump that delivers the power to control the hydraulic systems. So when the pump stops, you cannot control you cannot use hydraulic, which means you cannot control so the first thing that stopped in that, even when the engine was full, because I was there when they're dismantling the engine also, the engine was okay, nothing was wrong with it, was the hydraulic pump. Now, how did the hydraulic pump fail? In the housing where the propeller shaft entered the gearbox and is tapping from a pulley, there was a belt transmission. Under there was sign of what? Of fire. Isn't it? It was burning. And how do I know it was burning? The cover for that particular setup is aluminium. And aluminium, pure, will melt at 660 degrees centigrade. Isn't it? So when you check the inside, there was chiseling of the edge, which means the fire was coming from a bench. Like if you see somebody doing gas cutting, you can direct. So the fire was chiseling the aluminium from under. But on top was okay. But then how do I know that there was fire under? When you have droplets in a spray, they stick under, isn't it? But then there are droplets forming globules. But in between the globules, see, there are those boundaries, lines, because many droplets up, in between droplets, there's a line for joining, isn't it? So those lines were oxidized by carbon. When the droplets eventually go, you get fish scale pattern. When the droplets eventually disappear, then it remains a fish scale pattern, which means the carbon was in the areas where the droplets were filling, and in those droplets, and was burning. And it was burning what? From what? Issue of what? Hydraulic oil, which was burned. Hydraulic oil was not having full combustion. And so it was generating what? Carbon what? Monoxide. Then somebody was trying to say that it was ram air cannot allow it to go into the fuselage. Helicopter blade, when it's rotating, the blade is long. The tip and the center are rotating same speed of rotation, but different velocity. You understand what I'm saying? The tip is covering a longer distance, just like when you're going around the pitch, isn't it? The tip is covering a longer distance than the center. Center is almost steady, isn't it? Which means the tip is having a higher velocity than and the higher the velocity, the more thrust of air it does what? It hits down, isn't it? So if you draw the pattern of the air being expelled down to cause the thrust to go up towards the center, it will form something like a parabola, isn't it? Because it's reducing as the blade, you go inside the blade, because the speed is changing, and also at the center, it's almost like a rod. A rod cannot fan, because the blade does not start open. That aerofoil is not from the center, it's from So in between here, there's a place where there's no air, but it forms like a hyperbola or something like that, which means the fuselage is encased because the thrust is on there, and that's why you see the blades of an aircraft, when they are bent upwards when they are rotating, they are normally bent upwards, isn't it? So this space in here, even if it was supposed to, people will be uncomfortable, isn't it? So it has to be like that. So there's no air, which is being thrust here. So air will easily percolate into the fuselage, and that's why the other ones inhaled it. It was carbon monoxide from unburnt hydraulic, partially burnt what? Hydraulic oil. And all those, the statements are there in those exposés, but the explanation is what was
lacking.
Yeah.
All right.
And then why do you know that there was fire there inside? Above that cover, there was something like a sensor and a wire coming out. A wire coming just above, immediately above the aluminum where the fire was. In the food, that wire never caught burnt. So fire that burns and melts aluminum, do you think it can spare just a normal wire? It can't. Which means the fire which melted aluminum was concentrated inside where the hydraulic pump was. And there must have been a leakage, and a leakage at high pressure, for it to come out as a mist. The principle of diesel engines working. Diesel engine sprays, because when you pick diesel, it's liquid, isn't it? When you're spraying it in the engine, it's a gas. So on a small hole, it atomizes and it comes out as gas. So if it is hydraulic oil, it comes as a gas and as droplets and what.
You almost lost me with this engineering jargon. Thank you for your time, engineer. It has been an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Of course, these are matters that we are going to interrogate as we move.
So, okay, just real quick. The explanation went over my head a little bit because I'm not, a scientist, so to speak. But I kind of got the gist of it. Now, my question is, because he kind of was safe with his explanation, he was giving a scientific breakdown, mechanical breakdown, scientific breakdown of what happened. Does it still suggest that there was a hidden hand in this? Because it started that, okay, what he's
saying, it was a fire. That's what if you go back maybe like 10 seconds, he says there's a carbon or something happening from nowhere, not be there.
Yes, but
that's what he's explaining.
I got all of that, but again, that's why I'm saying he's like kind of safe with his answer, because he started by saying, okay, remember when Saitoti named names of people who are involved in drug dealing, then he started explaining, and you heard him say that it was lack of explanation as to what happened. So what I would ask him, and I think the gentleman who was interviewing him didn't ask, was this something that could have been manipulated to have
yes.
Okay,
yes.
That's where I was getting with it.
Finish. No, you have 1 minute that you haven't watched, and that kind of makes a lot of sense. If you watch it, just play the last 1 minute, I think.
Okay, is it 1 minute left?
There's 1 minute, yeah.
All right, let me see. Okay, let's see.
Move on.
Yes.
And my take home is that we are not yet out of the woods.
Yes.
So probably we'll have a conversation later. I don't know when. But thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
And I also invite our audience to interrogate what you've told us.
Yes.
You've given us lots of references from the Bible.
Yes.
May they also interrogate that and give us your analysis and your conviction or your opinion on the comment section. Let's engage there, as engineer has put it. And also remind you that these are his words. This is his opinion. This is his observation. This is his conclusion, and not ours. Not to cause it is his. It is good to have that disclaimer.
And you can go ahead and say that he says these are not his. These are what? Divine.
And he says that these are not his words. These are divine words.
The divine words.
Let's interrogate them together.
Yes. Because you can use the Bible to follow.
Yes.
If you are me, I've taken you through so that you see all those things. There's nothing that is not in. Yes.
My name is Kinyori Wangeshi. This has been Tuko. We have had a very a good conversation with engineer George Sami Onyango. Thank you.
So hakusema hivyo, whatever the answer you're looking for, hakusema, but unajua he is being careful as well.
Right.
Na unajua kwa wapi?
Yes.
So he's being very careful, but alisema 2024 is the year, one way or the other. Hatuendi anywhere else.
Yeah, he mentioned that 2024. It's like this is divine. This whole Gen Z thing, and he said there's a lull before the
Yes. Sisi watu tunasema mbona Gen Z waliana, mbona and I have said this before. You know, like when you pull catapult, like you pull back.
Yes.
Where we are now, tumerudi nyuma. Unajua venye you hold it back, you pull it, this is where we are. And when you do it, you know what happens with catapult.
Yes.
This is where we are now.
So the young folks are kind of wameenda wana restructure, wana decompose, wana plan and all that.
See what even us here we're talking about. Tunajua what we need to do. All of us tunajua. We're just waiting for somebody else to do it. Sisi wote we'll get to a point. This is what ndio shida nini. Ruto ana akili. Whatever is happening, then you keep doing like whatever he's doing with JKIA, and eventually only a moron would buy an airport from a country, because eventually we can say hii ni yetu, then do what? Utafanya nini? Wote, even the IMF loans, tutafika place, tutalipa, utafanya nini? We have our own food, njia zetu tunajenga si wote, our healthcare is working, utafanya nini? Are you gonna bomb us? We are getting there.
I think Ruto is too blinded by whatever he's doing, and maybe it's a divine way of God blinding him from paying attention to what's happening. But there's one place that I also wanted to I'll go through this video again and watch it on my own time. But there's a place when he said he gave he gave an example of Daniel when unakumbuka vile wanasema 135 days, I think that's some place like that. But then he had that interviewer read that Daniel something, and he mentioned when the prince of Persia or whatever, which was a demon, the head, is a principality, alikuja akasimama in the middle of something. That's when, of course, if you follow the story, the angel was kept up in 21 days. Michael idea. But he also mentioned, while he was mentioning that, he was mentioned something about, I think it was 2022 elections, then the battalion that was sent in, I think, Grecian War, Ogola,
17th, I think, 17th battalion from Malindi, or one of the coast towns, I think he said.
Yes, and that's where I kind of, I was following him, but I didn't quite get the significance of that, because it was like elections, then Ogola and his, battalion, alafu the elections, because there are some people who are walishikwa na 17 17 stickers.
See, as an engineer myself, there's even some parts mpaka sahi I don't even understand.
Right.
He talks very high level, so you have to see it from a high level part of it. It's not like he's telling you this will happen, this will, because he doesn't know that. Nyali, Kinza. Nyali is a place, but he talks very high level. That's why even a lot of people will not understand this. If you watch the whole views, you're gonna 100k views. It's not what people understand.
Yeah, I think from what I got, the first impression of my initial understanding of what he was trying to say is that there was progress happening in 2022, but the Prince of Persia in this case of Kenya was alikuja kuleta maneno hapa by bringing this battalion doing what they're doing and the people being stopped at the Ninio. It's as if like there was going to be a real revolution, not revolution, but the will
Change.
Yes, a real change was going to happen then. Hizo events ya Nyali and 17 people, 17 stickers na hizo mambo ya nani Kinaogola and his crew getting involved in that Persian war, it kind of really stopped the whole thing from happening. But it's not over yet because, of course, then he continued and said, God is not done with Kenya, bado mambo inaendelea. So that's how I took it.
Snail lazima ikule nyoka, man. The
right.
Snail, it has to eat it.
Right.
And it might, don't forget, this is very kind of, it takes somebody who is very theological and somebody who is kind of, who can foresee things from far. This is all he is. He's a genius.
Okay. I think he has a divine interpretation and is a divine encounter ambao Mungu anampatia namonyesha how things, how to send a message, how the messages God is trying to send is giving him to, very, very interesting. I hope, guys, you've been following. I tend to believe too, when I talk to KK here, we always say that, yes, we agree that in halftime, something is bringing up. It's not over. You see, vile nani alikuwa na harass alishika wakina Jimmy Wanjigi. Maybe Jimmy Wanjigi is like, okay, unataka kunichezea hivyo na familia yangu. Let me go ahead and just plan properly this time and, get some more young people that I can. So I agree that there's more to come. And we'll see. But we have how many months before December?
Tuliongea hapo the other day. Nikasema, shida yetu wa Kenya, we are very smart. But we're trying to figure out everything ahead of time. Kuna vitu hatuoni hata sisi. There's a lot we do not understand. Hata Ruto, whatever Ruto is doing is what is making us the way we are. And eventually, the moral of the story, nyoka ni lazima ikuliwe.
All right. Haya, meskia.
We'll eat it alive. Dead or alive.
Sawa. Anyways, it's been 3 hours. I never go this long, but thank you so much, KK. Thank you, Bobby Caesar, Kenzol, Gypsy Corner, Clean Black Sneakers. I don't know how many people. Kuna watu wamecomment hata mpaka Labani, thank you too. Annie. Everyone else, this was really, really, I didn't expect this. The first video, by the way, is a video that I made a couple of months ago. I changed shots so quick. It was like a repeat. But anyway, we'll see we'll continue to follow what's happening. There was supposed to be a Mandamano today. I saw a Mandamano in Thika Road, I think. Nowhere else was reported Mandamanos. But we'll keep on following and see what happens. Ruto bado wako China na Raila. I don't know what they're doing there. So you come wamepewa hiyo 40 million or 80 million, whatever the million is. We'll see what happens. Things are still happening. Mambo inachemka. KK, do you have anything else before I clock out?
Yes, before you do, I know most of us were very sad. Some of us may give up. And I want whoever watches after this to understand. We all know what is happening. Most of us now expect someone else to fix something. It takes all of us to fix our own country. Kenya has 55, I think, 55, and us abroad, whatever we are, all of us have a part to play. And at the end of the day, by the end of this year, I'll prophesy. Snail will have eaten the snake. That's the message of the day and the year.
All right, there you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades. The snail will eat the snake. We shall be here for it. I'll be here providing a platform where we can discuss these things, to rant, rave, and exchange ideas. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Hapa tunaongea mambo yote from biblical perspective, prophetic perspective, intellectual, mechanical, scientific, philosophy, yote hapa tunaongea. Kila mtu orodha, everyone walks of life, we come here. Hata Captain anakuja anatupatia inyo yake. I don't know where he was. He told me to come in today or yesterday, but I haven't seen it. But anyway, it's been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for everyone in the comment section. Omuganda Katende from Uganda, I will not forget you. Thank you so much for watching too. I hope Museveni will live in a few months. But thank you so much. I have to leave it here. Hope you subscribe, share, like, comment. Even if you're going to watch it on repeat, do the same. There's other platforms out there. Pia mkitaka kwa support, mwendeni mka support. You know them. Tutaenda kuangalia pia. You can get ideas and interesting people from other platforms too. It's all about talking how we can change our country. Thank you so much. My name is Kenyan Revolutionary. Kiki, salute to you. I'll see you later. Ama namna gani? Peace and blessings to all.